Protect to protect this message. Amen. Amen. Uh, welcome to everybody. Let me get the podcast up real quick. Hmm. Okay. Podcast trying to give us a little bit of issues. That's all right. We're gonna make this work. Thank you for everybody who's been praying for us and praying for myself personally. I definitely have felt them and needed them for sure. Um, And we give all praise and honor once again to the Most High, Yahweh Elohim. We give all praise and honor to him for my wife, the Honorable Baya, who lives a life to say to be honored. You can check her out on TikTok and YouTube, her website and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish, not A-N-D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. Um, to Marshawn, Malcolm, Betty, Isabella, and Solomon. Daddy loves you very much. To the moderators for the day, to the ministerial staff, to Lottie Dottie and everybody who's joining us, to those who are frustrated by what we might even say, to those who love what we have to say, those of you who this is your first time, those of you this is one time of many. We appreciate you being on today. And what we're going to talk about today for the next period of time is we are going to speak on we're going to speak specifically on needs lead to values. Needs lead to value. Needs lead to value. And shalom. Hello, Don. How you doing? Brother Clem, how you doing? I was about to say I could tell the podcast didn't look like it was working. We'll try this again with the podcast. Hello, Sister. I'm sorry. Brother Allen was first. Sister Tamika, Sister Kimberly, Minister Tamara, Sister Sharice, Sister Betty, her Dawn, Sister Minister Select Sonia, Anthony, Felisa. Everybody, thanks for the love sent already to Tamara. Grand Rising, everybody. Welcome in. We're going to talk about needs lead to value, and we're going to use something that's used throughout society, throughout the world. It's something that's even used in business because people are studying us all the time, and they study us sometimes better than we study ourselves. So we're going to use I wouldn't say a worldly principle because it's still based off of a kingdom mindset. How you doing? Is it Janie Horn? Thanks for being with us today. Welcome back, Charlton Williams. How you doing? We're going to talk specifically on needs lead to values, and we're going to talk about 6 human needs. All right, this is something that you've been studied, whether you know it or not. You have been studied, and people have studied to see what your needs are to be able to see how they can be valuable to you. And so this is something that you will be able to use in relationships, something that you should be able to use in everyday life, something you should be able to use for your business plan, something you should be able to use for your mission statements, your vision statements, something you should be able to use when you're trying to figure out what you're going to spend money on. It was something you should be able to use to see how people will try to get you to spend money, right? This is called the 6 human needs, and we're going to talk about these 6 human needs today. And this is once again something that they teach in business. So if you're going to buy something, I promise you, this is what somebody has looked at to see if you are, in fact, if they in fact can get you to catch on to something, to latch on to something, to buy something. How you doing, Dripback? How you doing, Big Brother Thomas? They are looking at you with these 6 human needs. And so a lot of people are trying to figure out different things. What adds value? How am I going to get people to buy into whatever I'm trying to sell? Et cetera, et cetera. Well, there you need to see if you're fulfilling these 6 human needs. Now, I don't necessarily believe that we should go in the order that these 6 human needs are, but nevertheless, if you find out these needs, you are of more value. So for those of us, I want to do more in the kingdom. I want people to come up to me. I want people to buy my products. I want to be able to use my voice. How you doing, Minister Nice? I feel like I'm supposed to be able to speak. I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with that. How can I get my spouse, my partner to interact greater? How can I find love? How can I find the relationship? All these different things, right? So today we're going to talk about needs lead to values. Needs lead to values. Needs lead to values. How you doing, Sister Barbara? What is it that leads to your value? Needs are going to lead to your value. If you want to be valuable? That simply, if we break down that word on a very basic level, are you able to be valued? Are you able to be valued? And watch this: do you enable people to value you? Right? Needs lead to values, and people need these needs to be met. So there are 6 human needs. I'm going to go through them real quick, and then we'll break them down as we go through today. But there are 6 human needs, and this has been around. This model has been around for years and years and years, decades. And this is something that people use when they study you. When you see a product out, whatever your favorite product is, whatever that product is, even you want to leave it alone. You're like, I don't even want to buy this anymore. I don't want to get this. This is unhealthy food. Why am I still buying this? How you doing, Austin? How you doing, Chill Pill? You know, I don't even want to get this. I don't even get, needs lead to values. How are we going to continue to grow? Needs lead to values. How do you become valuable? Needs lead to values. If somebody feels like you are valuable, right, or you and then this is what's going to happen, right? Peep game. If you want somebody to believe in that you have value, all right, check this out. If you want people to believe that you add value, what they're looking for is, do you add value to them? So when we talk about these 6 human needs, these are ways, how you doing, Keetroy? These are ways that people will see that you add value to them. And yes, we're dealing with the world, we're dealing with the system, and the system teaches you, hey, add value to me, or you're not worthy of my time. That's what's going on. And even when we're trying to get people to come to the kingdom, come to your business, you're trying to get your family in order, you're trying to make sure your community is better. They need to see that what you are saying adds value to them. If they see that it adds value to them, they will sow time, effort, energy, prayers, support, um, love, and yes, even they will sow resources. Thank you, Swag Master. Appreciate it. Right. So this is if you can add value to somebody, they will add value. They will in essence give you something back in return. If what you give is valuable to somebody, you will be successful. If you're looking for your business to take off, add value. Right. That's why the presentation. That's why when you get something from the Honorable Maya, as far as these tinctures are concerned, and you get a Bloom and Flourish product, you're going to see that there's things on there. It's going to come with paper to say, do this, do that. These are the things that come with it. This is how you can be in touch with us. Let us know if you have questions, comments, or concerns, right? It's not just the medicine itself, which is going to make you feel well. You feel like it's going to add value, right? I mean, sure, I guess you could say that Chris Rock didn't have value for Will Smith. Okay. Right. We could say that in a sense, right? Um, you know, so but whatever you're trying to do, it needs to add value. How you doing, Shabbos? Right. So if you add value to somebody, you become valuable. You were able to be valued. Why? Because somebody says, oh, well, you add value to me, I'll sow into you so that whatever you provide, I'll be able to get on a regular basis. Right. All right. So here's the 6 human needs. Let's go through these 6 human needs, and then we'll break them down one by one. 6 human needs. The first human need is certainty. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with the order, but we're just going to go off of what, if somebody were teaching this to you, in the secular world, if you were go to an event, if you go to a motivational seminar, etc., this is what the order you would get them in. So the first human need is certainty. You said adding value is your forte. I'm on. Amen. Right. So whatever you do, it needs to add value. So first things first, the first human need, the first things human beings are looking for is certainty. When I get your product, when I get your relationship, when I receive your love, am I certain of things? We were talking about this last night to a certain extent when we were trying to talk about our duties, right? What do you do? People want you to do this duty, do that, be accountable. And I kept trying to tell somebody over and over again last night, those of you who were on, hey, you can talk about accountability all day, but you don't have anything to hold somebody accountable to. What are the list of things that you require? Are you honest about those things from the beginning? Right? I need certainty. If I'm going to serve you, I need to right, people who connect with us, say they want to do this, do that, help out in the community, whatever. What's one of the first things that we do? I call you, right? If I can. If I can't, somebody else will, but usually I'll be the first call. I try to be, and we have a conversation. And how you doing, Sister Tracy? How you doing, Beverly? Thanks for being on. Everybody on YouTube, the podcast, TikTok, we appreciate you. Right? Exactly. So expectation comes up again. So there's got to be certainty. right. I'm expecting something certain. If you tell me for certain, this is what I want you to do. Here's the honeydew list. These are the words that I like to be used. These are the words that I do not like to be used. This is acceptable as a pet name, whatever it is that you're dealing with, right? This is what if you go, even though it's an unhealthy place, right? I'm gonna list some unhealthy places, but why do people go to unhealthy places? There's certainty. If I go to McDonald's, if I go to Burger King, if I go to Whataburger, if I go to Jack in the Box, if I go to, you know, Arby's, I don't know, if I go to Wendy's, if I go to wherever you're going, right? If I go to Baskin Robbins, right? Whatever it is, I know there's something that I'm going to get with certainty, right? I'm going to get something within a certain amount of time. Shalom, Sister Ellen, how you doing? Something within a certain amount of time. I'm certain of it, right? I am certain that I will receive this. If I'm going to Baskin Robbins, I'm certain that they'll have ice cream. There's a certainty. I'm going there first and foremost because there's certainty, right? Second thing up though is that if everything's certain, if nothing is challenging, even challenges are certainty. Thanks for being part of the community. Is it Fala Yuri? I'm not sure if I said that correctly, right? But if I go there, it's certainty, right? Then the next thing after certainty is what? If I go there, right, then I want variety. We call that uncertainty. Number two. So number one, human need is certainty. Number two on the list, right? Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with the order, but I'm just giving you what you will be taught. So first is certainty. Number two is uncertainty. If I'm certain of a thing, right? If everything's certain, if there's no variety at all, then people go, I don't want anything to do with it, right? So a surprise is nice, right? Every once in a while, it's cool. We go to work, go to school, go do the same thing, but every once in a while, oh, I didn't expect that you would do this. Oh, it's nice that you gave me this gift. Oh, when somebody goes to the store, you go to the store for number one, for certainty, there's food there, but then you know what? You see a variety, you see an uncertainty. Oh, I didn't know that they had this brand. I've never seen this before. Let me try it. Right? People go on vacation, and they don't want to eat at the same places that they've always ate at, right? If I'm on vacation, why would I eat at the same place? I need to find at least one place that I've never tried before, right? Uncertainty. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to taste like, but that's brings an excitement, right? So when you're presenting your product, does your product provide something that somebody might not have expected? What we do, we might call it something like a mystery being revealed. There's certainty there that this is what I want to go through, but then there's this thing that's mysterious. Can you help me to take could you help me to take this mystery and stop it from being mystical to making it practical, right? When you make it practical, wow, you surprised me, right? Cool. Whatever it is, right? We're dealing with certainty, number one, but people also want uncertainty. They want variety. How you doing, Miss Modesty? How you doing, One King Dave? So you want certainty, but then you got to have what? Uncertainty. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So you got to have certainty, but then you want what? Uncertainty. You want variety. And this is an issue that people have, right? One of the things that goes on in the country. Well, everybody's got to speak the same language. Then you have only certainty, but then certainty is something you really don't want, right? Some people want certainty, but then they forget like uncertainty is what makes things better, right? Uncertainty is this person sees it to where they know how to build the foundation, but this person sees it to where they know how to make sure that they build the pillars. Well, this person over here knows how to make sure that they can build the frame. Well, this person knows how to put walls on the frame, right? Well, this person knows how to put an exterior to cover the walls in the frame. Well, this person knows how to do the electricity. There's a variety, there's uncertainty, so to speak. Not everybody, not everybody in your group. Thank you, Ransom. Not everybody in your group is supposed to be able to do the same thing. And a lot of people fail. A lot of businesses fail. A lot of families even will fail because people try to get with people that are exactly like them, agree with everything they agree with, wear what they wear, talk how they talk, right? Speak how they speak. And that's not necessarily how it's supposed to go, right? You want certainty, but then you also what you want what? Uncertainty. You want uncertainty, right? And watch this. Key into this. Some people realize it's not even some, all of us realize, but some people don't know about it. If you're into that whole conscious, subconscious thing, um, the things that you're uncertain about link you to other people. Because if I don't know how to do something, if I'm uncertain on how to get something done, it causes me to have to connect with somebody that can get done or has knowledge of something that I don't have. Right. Well, we can talk about the order. I would list them in a second. I'm just giving them out. So we're on number two right now. So we just finished number one. The first human need that they use in business is certainty, right? We need to make sure this product does this. We need to make sure we advertise it specifically as this. We need to make sure that people comprehend what they're coming to get. Uncertainty. Do we have it in writing? Is there something that we give them that they weren't sure they were going to be able to get? Is there something that we can tell them that they weren't even aware that they needed, right? People like uncertainty, they like variety, they like surprises. Number three, next up after uncertainty, excuse me, is going to be significance. Number three is going to be significance. All right. Whatever, whatever people are wanting from us, right? Um, People want significance. Significance. Nobody wants to feel insignificant. Who needs to feel significant? Everybody needs to feel significant. That's why people get upset when you say something like, I don't see color. Because they say, well, why is my color not significant? I want to feel significant. Then somebody else is trying to use significance to make themselves feel great. So what do they say? They say, well, um, I'm more significant than you because I don't care about color. They both have a need for significance, right? But they're trying to argue who's basically more significant, or who's significant, what somebody holds in significance is better than the other, right? So people are looking for significance. Why am I here? What's the purpose of life? Significance, right? We even have people that you would call what your significant other, the person that you're connected to. I want you to be significant. You're significant because I make you significant in my life, right? You remain. How you doing, Sister Nikita? You make me feel significant. I call you my significant other. Somebody other than myself is significant, right? And so significance. So like I said, some people will say I'm not significant. That's their way of saying they're significant. That's their way of saying, hey, I'm I'm significant because I don't care about being significant. You're still talking the same language, right? You're still dealing with the same thing. So, right, some people are significant because they say, I got to have a wallet full of cash. Some people say, man, I don't spend money like that. That makes them feel significant. Some people say, my car looks the same way. How you doing, Breezy? Some people say, my car looks like this. Some people say, you know what? I'm a minimalist. I don't need a car. I can just survive on a bike. Significant, right? Some people want to make sure that they know everything about politics. Some people say I don't care about politics. Whatever it is, they're looking for significance. Question is, do you provide significance? Whatever your business plan is, your vision statement, your mission statement, what does it do to make somebody feel significant? Remember, we're talking about these needs lead to value. If you want somebody to feel like you have value, the question is, what do you do that makes them feel valuable? If you make somebody feel like they have value, if you add to somebody's value, then they will add to you. If you, once again, add to somebody's value, they will do what? They will add to you. What allows me to be significant, right? What is it that makes you significant, right? And then when you found what is it that makes you significant, do you hold yourself accountable to making sure that you are great at that thing? How you doing, Empress? Thanks for being on, right? Right? Like, so significance. When you're talking about significance, when you're talking about value, when you're talking about even traditions or whatever, what makes a tradition significant? What traditions even are you upholding? How you doing, Leonard? Right? What is it that you hold that is significant? Right? Do you hear what I'm saying? This is significant. I hold this thing, it's significant, right? And then what are you doing to make sure that you work on that to make what is significant something that nobody else does? You are significant. You are valuable. You have a and thank you for being with us today. Is it UCR, UCRDP, et cetera, et cetera. Thanks for being on. Right? What is it that you have? You said, does that speak to one husband and one wife? I mean, of course, right? If your husband, if your wife is significant, then what are you doing to make sure that you forsake all others? What is it that makes them know that nobody else is going to get what you get? I obviously by what I do. How you doing, Sister Deja? I obviously by what I do. I talk to people all day long, right? Some days, in doing all that, does my wife feel like she's still significant? If I can give you guys 3 hours and then maybe 30 minutes to an hour later on and do all these different things or whatever, what will make you significant? You said can't write fast enough. Amen. Right? Like what is it that causes you to have significance? Right? And then what are you doing to make sure that you work that thing? Right? I'm significant in teaching. Like something that gives me significance is to know that I can help somebody to break something down to where they can know it in a manner that they've never known it before. Not just not be aware of it, know it, be intimate with it. Right. So when I found that out about myself, I've been working that out since I was a child. I took a little break from it, but couldn't help but teach even in being agnostic and going other routes and looking at all these different things around the world. I still, I still had to come back to, you know what, like this thing teaching, it makes me feel significant. To be taught makes me feel significant. I love teaching, whether I'm the student, whether I'm the master, right? The disciple or the master, you're the teacher or or the student, whatever you want to call yourself. Like, like I find significance in life because of that. How you doing, Amp Life? Sorry, I didn't say hello earlier. I find significance in that. So I started honing my craft. Even when I'm not on here, guess what I'm doing? I'm listening to other people who are great at breaking things down. I've run into people, whether it's sports, whether it's somebody breaking down reaction videos, whether it's somebody talking about how they make movies, whether it's somebody who's talking about motivational speaking, whether it's somebody who's talking about business needs, whether it's somebody who's talking about marriage. I find significance in teaching. So my life is centered around learning how to be taught and learning how to teach. Right? What do you provide to somebody that causes them to deal with that's making them significant? You know, what is your husband? What do you do to make your husband feel significant? Right? Number one need for a man. 99.9% of the time, number one need for a man is going to make sure that he feels respected or he feels what we call heard. You ain't got to agree with everything. You don't have to make sure everything's perfect. You don't have to, you don't have to be a doormat. We're not looking for any of that. Do you hear us? Do you respect what we say? Do you respect our mindset? If you can say, man, Pastor was talking about this and this and this the other day, can you tell me at least one great thing that I do? I'm telling you, ladies, I cannot tell you how many times there are women that come to church and right, and like we don't do church, but you know what I'm saying, like back in the day when I used to do church, and how many ladies would come to church, husbands never came to church, and then you come to find out, wait a minute, you know what, like he probably doesn't come because all I hear is what I say, well, where's your husband, how's your husband doing? Well, he ain't blah blah, he ain't doing this, just pray for him, blah blah. You start realizing, oh, she probably doesn't respect him. He doesn't feel significant. If he was to get the same respect from you, which he should get more of. But if he were to get the same respect from you that you give to your pastor, he would probably show up no problem. If in the same way you say, Amen, Pastor, that's a word right there. If your husband says something, you said, you know what, babe, that's a word right there. He would probably feel significant. He would sow into you. These needs, once again, lead to value. You add value to him. Now he's going to sow into you because he knows that somebody who adds value to him is valuable. That's why, even though this is a very immature way of talking about it, that's why a husband, or well, not even a husband, I say little boys do this, men do this, so not necessarily a husband, but that's why a male will be out here and he'll see somebody and he sees that you're pretty. Yeah, 80/20. I'm not. Thank you, C Cloud. Thank you, appreciate it. Right. So he sees a pretty girl out there. He sees a pretty woman out there. Guess what he does? He wants to be with her. Why? Because in society, being pretty, and by the way, just period, a woman beauty is valuable, right? So if he's got somebody with him that's pretty, he says she adds value. Now that shouldn't be the only thing he's looking for, but let's just keep it 100. It's you add value. Somebody who's trying to get in the bedroom, what do they think? It's a very immature way of thinking about, well, what are they doing? You add value. No, thank you, Sister Beverly. Appreciate that. And you add value to you're very significant. Amen. Um, Shalom, Sister Deborah. Right. So you add value. You know, why are a lot of women? What's the number? What is a woman's number one need? Right. A woman's number one need, 99.9% of the time is security. I don't care if she makes more money than you, she still wants to feel secure. Right. So why is it so we go, oh, she's a gold digger. Oh, she's looking at credit score. Oh, she's looking at does he have a house? Does he have a car? Well, her number one need is gonna be security. If she knows that she's secure, she feels significant. It actually goes back to Marion number one, point number one with this, right? Where she's looking for something that she knows is going to be certain. She's looking for certainty. She's looking for consistency, right? If she sees certainty, and then when watch this uncertainty comes up, where variety and vicissitudes of life pop up, and something happened, and I don't know how we're gonna make it through this or whatever. Well, guess what? She knows that you've been so certain that when uncertainty pops up, she feels like what? Like she's significant. You've had her back when highs, certainty, lows, uncertainty. She feels significant. She says, "I'm gonna roll with you no matter what." We want ride or die. See, this is this is a that I need a ride or die chick and all that stuff, right? I'm a ride or die. I need a ride or die. You got to be ride or die. What is she riding for, and what is she dying for? If she's riding for you, right, and dying for you, you got to have something of certainty that even in uncertain times, she realizes she's always significant. It's her feeling significant that makes her ride or die. A woman that comes up to you and says, "I'm ride or die, no matter what, I got your back," and she doesn't know who you are, that's something that doesn't make sense. Come on, come on, right? Ladies, some ladies, y'all be doing that. I got your back no matter what. Just met the girl 2 days ago. We best friends. I got your back no matter what, bestie. Of course, you don't have her back no matter what. You don't know what's going on. You don't know how this person deals in certain. If this person is certain in what they do, you don't know how they're going to deal in uncertainty. And right, and therefore you don't know if this person's truly significant or not. Thank you, Breezy. Right, amen, Sis Betty. How you doing, Prince? Right, so you got to figure out significance is crucial. People will find that if you're significant by what you do in certain times and uncertain times, they will see if you treat them in a manner that makes them realize that they are significant in your eyes. Amen. Words without actions or context, contextual facts. Right. So we're looking for what? Significance. I'm sorry. So number one so far, human needs is what? Certainty, right? So we're talking about needs lead to values, and we're going off of 6 basic human needs. This is what companies even study to be able to see if they're going to sell something to you. So for those of you who are business owners, starting your business, etc., these are some great things to be able to get into. So 6 human needs, right? Watch this. So first thing, certainty. Second human need, uncertainty. Third human needs, or even uncertainty, you can put variety, whatever. Third human need is going to be significance. Fourth human need is connection and love, right? Fourth human need, connection and love. Now, a lot of people get frustrated by this because they go, well, love should be first. And I would actually agree with you. But like I said, I'm not going by this, because love really is going to a whole bunch of stuff. Love is action. Love is the most high, right? Yahaba Ahaba, right? Elohim for Elohim is love, right? But, they put number 4, connection and love, right? So connection, do I connect to you? Now they're not talking about love the way we are, but you got to see what they're saying. Love the way we are is talking about action, right? But what they're saying is that what we would say, let's say it like this: connection comes through your actions. How do we connect one to another? If you're significant, right? Or if you feel significant, you're going to also want connectivity. If something makes you feel significant, you're going to want connectivity. You said, I need a real significant woman. I'm developing late single and healing season. Amen. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? because you got to get yourself ready for that. Because if you ain't healed yet, you can't handle it. Well, intimacy, yeah, connectivity. We can say intimacy, sure, right? But what makes me connected to you? What makes me connected to you? When you buy whatever your favorite, I don't know. Some of you buy food. Matter of fact, a lot of people, if not all people, unfortunately, but we'll say a lot of people because we got some healthy eating folk in the house, right? But when you weren't eating so healthy, you bought food because of how you connected to it. Ofori is your dad's name. Cool, cool, cool. Firstborn, right? And thanks for being on, twins, right? But when you talked about um, when you bought food, you bought it because you were connected to it. How you doing, Black Chemistry? Right? Love the name. When you bought food, you bought it because what you were connected to it. Right? When you buy grease, when you buy salt, when you buy sugar, you are connected to it. It makes you feel better. You said you can attest to those, both healing and healthy go hand in hand. To me, at least, yeah, amen. Right? So you were connected to it. Somebody's gonna go. Much love back, King. When you go to, and thanks for being part of the community, the real. I don't know if I should or shouldn't say. I don't know what that word means, but usually means something else. But the real. Thanks for being part of the community. Hey Shima, how you doing? So look, when people go to get fat, when you go to get something that's got a lot of fat in it or a lot of grease, guess what? Usually you're somebody that doesn't feel like you're loved. It goes hand in hand. So when they put fatty products out and grease and all that stuff, they know that most people that are going to get that, you don't feel loved. When you go, it's stereotypical, but if you think about it, a lot of people eat like this. When you go to get that tub of ice cream, right, and you sitting up there, why do you eat a tub of ice cream? You usually eat a tub of ice cream by yourself because you feel depressed. Something happened to you. It attacked your connectivity. You thought you were connected to something. You're not connected to the person. So what do? You connect to the food. They're using a human need against you. They're using a human need against you. Why do you go get sugar? Why do you get sugar product? You're addicted, right? And it's setting off things. It's like a drug. But why? Matter of fact, more people are on sugar than any of these other drugs that we're talking about. How you doing, brother Omar? Right? But what do? You're going to get the sugar because just like somebody smokes or does, well, not smokes. Weed is fine, but like cocaine, crack, dope, whatever. Why is somebody doing that? Why is somebody going to get alcohol? Well, it helps me to not have to connect to something that's bad. I'm having connectivity issues. I'd rather not connect to it. Let me go ahead and get this high real quick, or let me go ahead and come down real quick. You're getting the product because you connect to it. Eating is a spiritual endeavor. It's still spirit. It's still melanin up in that piece, right? That's flowing, right? Pineal gland is still being affected. It's if it breaks down melanin, why are you going to eat certain medicine? Give me this medicine so that it helps me. Well, this medicine has meth in it. Well, it doesn't matter. It makes me focus. Well, you could focus without it, or you could just eat something to help you with serotonin levels and things like that. No, you know what? I just rather go ahead and get this pill. I'm bipolar. Everybody's bipolar. Everybody has polarity. Everybody has an electronic way that your body works. No, I need it. Why? What are we talking about? Something is going on to where they're having connectivity issues, even in the brain. Connectivity can't connect thoughts one to another. Having a tough time. Empress says, "Do you have a food regimen that you share? Haven't had appetite in years. We're tired of being ill." We could. Well, I mean, we could possibly go over something like that today. Sure. My wife is actually the herbalist, so I kind of feel like that's her territory. But we might bring some of that up because there's some things that we should talk about for sure. How you doing, Sister Benita? You said does the same in the brain as sugar. Weird, yeah. You're dealing with connectivity. They sell you the stuff because they know it's connectivity. Or if you want to break connectivity, if you don't want to think about a certain thing, if you're tired of all these issues going on in the world, they're showing you all this stuff on the news. The same people that show you all the stuff on the news, they put the commercials on there. The commercials say, see, all these bad things are going on. Go get your salt, go get your fat, go get your sugar, go get your grease. Right? these things will help you. Your brain says, you know what, I remember that. That did help that one time when I ate that, you know, and then you go get it. Hey, Grand Rising Charis, how you doing? Thank you for being on with us again. Yeah, we teach. So we teach. So right now, in our curriculums that we have basic Hebrew, which is not even Hebrew one, but we have basic Hebrew where we kind of reintroduce words and pronunciations and stuff because we don't teach modern Hebrew, and before that, we teach Hebrew characters. So yeah, so we do have that. We're probably not going to start our next stuff until like April, probably the end of April after the Feast of Unleavened Bread and all that stuff. So probably like maybe the week of April 20, what would the date be? 25th, possibly. It'd be the earliest that we'd start the next semester. Mr. Chairman said they say sugar cravings can mean need for more sweetness, tenderness in your life. Yeah, that as well, right? Hey, people aren't being sweet to me, this and that or whatever. So what do? Right? They give you they say, hey, nobody's being sweet, nobody's being nice. You feel like you're out there by yourself, right? They show you this world, they show you this wicked system. You say, man, I need to eat something to deal with this because food is supposed to be medicine. Food is always supposed to be medicine. It's not supposed to be anything other. You want to make it a priority? Need help? Hey man, yeah, just reach out. I'll make sure, like, let's see, I'm following you back or whatever, or following you. Um, so feel free to send me a DM or something, and we can set something up for sure. Or just look at where it says website on TikTok. You can just look where it says website and then click on the link tree, and then it has a bunch of places you can go look us up. You remember the old Western commercials? They will show the mom from Brady Bunch making crispy chicken. I kind of sort of remember that. Yeah, I don't really remember, but I kind of remember that. But yeah, that's what they're doing, right? Like, and a lot of people don't comprehend it, right? So here you are, right? These right. So far we've gone through what? So the basic needs so far. So remember, needs lead to value. If you want to be valuable in somebody's eyes, you must add value to them. And so here's the first four human needs. Once again, we're not going in I know the order that they go in is different than what we would go in. I'm just telling you what you would be taught, how businesses look at you, right? And how people in the world are thinking because they're being convinced by these businesses. Remember that capitalism is a system in which politics and economics, right? And so how people even feel deals with economics. So politics and economics control trade and industry. Trade and industry is controlled by the corporations, the private sector, and not the state and not the public. So it's the private corporations that teach you. They teach you in school how to eat. That's why you thought there was a such thing as a food pyramid. Turned out that was a lie, correct? Feast of Unleavened Bread is going to be April 16th through the 22nd. Passover is April 15th. Right now, we're in the midst of making sure that we get the leaven out of our home to prepare for the new year and then for Pasach or Passover. All right. So number one, certainty. Number two, uncertainty. Number three, significance. Number four is connection and love. Now here comes number five. Number five is crucial, right? Number five is crucial, right? Number five is crucial. You know why? Number five is growth. See, number five is growth. Every human being has a need to grow. Certainty. Hey, I need certain things to be in place. Uncertainty. I need to be able to figure out things when things go uncertain. And also they challenge me, right? I need to have variety in my life. Number three, significance. Hey, do I feel significant? Are you helping me to feel significant? Does your brand help me to feel significant? Do your words help me to feel significant? Right? Number four, connection and love. How do I connect to you? What are the actions of love that you give me? Even if you don't like me, do you still connect, right? That's why you don't have to like everybody, but you should try to love everybody. Like and love are not the same thing. And even though there's levels of love, it doesn't mean that you still don't love others. You don't have a certain action, right? Number five, though, is growth. Because if you're not growing, what are you doing? Somebody help me. If you're not growing, you probably heard this in the world before and work on your job or whatever. If you're not growing, what comes next? If you're not growing, what's going to happen to you? Either your business is growing or your business is what? It's dying. Exactly. Either you're growing or you're dying. There's no such thing as a stable business. Either you're growing or you're not. Either you're getting new clients or you're not. Now, some people say, well, no, I mean, I'm stable, this and that. I'm not talking about your finances. I'm talking about even if you make 2,000 a month on your business and you make 2,000 a month 3 months in a row, you will find that there are people that are leaving the business for whatever reason or aren't buying things all at the same time. So you better have somebody. So you better have somebody coming in, right, to be able to support your product. And growth can equal out. Growth can be a process. Growth can be breaking through a glass ceiling. You know something that people don't talk about, that glass ceiling. Why would you want to break through a glass ceiling, right? Breaking through a glass ceiling is not fun, right? Yeah, nothing remains the same. Breaking through a glass ceiling is not fun. If you break through a glass ceiling, you're probably going to get cut up. My wife and I haven't been to a movie theater in so long, but we went and we saw. We had we had our husband wife time, and we went to one of those movie theaters, where you sit down and you eat and all that stuff, and it's cheap to get in, but you paying all that money for the food. But it was actually a very great experience, and love having time with my wife. And we went to see what was it? I think it was Batman. Because I just wanted to kind of see, the new way that they're using the symbolism and the ancient, they would call him God or whatever, but the ancient spirit that, was a bat spirit and all that stuff that comes from South America, I believe, or is it Aztec? Might be Aztec, but all that stuff. So I just kind of wanted to, I was like, well, let's go see it or whatever. And there a lot of very wild stuff. I was actually thinking about talking about it on one of the lives. Maybe we will. A lot of different stuff that they put in there, a lot of symbolism that you're like, ooh, that's off, right? Like, and things that they're trying to make you to feel great about that you probably shouldn't feel great about, But in doing that or whatever, like, I was sitting there watching or whatever, and I was trying to figure out and going to see it, what's going on, like the movie theater thing. Like I thought that movie theaters aren't necessarily doing that well, and we're in a place where you don't have to wear a mask. A lot of people wearing masks and stuff. But I was like, now that they're opening things up, movie theater like this is more expensive. Like you could easily spend 100+ bucks in a place like that, the way they have it set up. um what are they doing? There's not that many people here, this and that, but then you see how they function, you see what they charge for, you see the fact that they give you something that adds value, right? And so guess what? It causes growth, right? And so I felt like, I'm not by any means rich or anything like that. I'm rich as far as, what I believe in and what we need, and we have, land and all that stuff secure. So I'm rich in many different ways, but I'm not by any means, out here millions of dollars, this and that. But like I was actually able to see something in it, the movie theater, the experience, because of the prices and because difference. How you doing, TJ? And because of all these different things that were going on. And the fact that I could make sure my wife had a great time, and it wasn't, but a few years ago, I probably wouldn't have been able to afford, we would have been able to go do it, but I wouldn't necessarily been able to afford it out of my pocket. And the fact that I've grown, I was like, you know what? Like their business actually showed growth, right? I have a connectivity to it, right? So I would assume, like, I might take my son and my wife back to the same theater, spend more money next time down the road. I'm not going to just day after day after day do that, but we go back, see something specifically that's just for him that he would like. We were looking at movies that were coming out, and all that stuff. Everything that they set up, it was connectivity. And but the fact that you can be in a situation like that, you walk in there, they got bottles of champagne and stuff. They got a bar people could sit at. They got all this stuff before. Some people don't even come there for the movie theaters. They just come for the experience, right? Of other things. And the fact that you can be in that situation, it causes growth. See, sometimes you just being in position, and watch this. Sometimes when they charge you the prices that they charge, they're charging because they've studied you. They know that sometimes when you come in there, you're going to see that the fact that you can afford to be in this place causes growth. I'm telling you, they've studied you. These 6 human needs add value. So when you realize that, man, this thing makes me feel valuable, you poke out your chest a little bit as a man, right? You say, I'm in a great place here. I can provide for my family. Not too many people can afford this situation. Look at what's going on in the pandemic. Everybody else is having to go and work 9 to 5. I'm in a position to where while they working a 9 to 5, my wife and I, we can just chill out. I'm making sure, my son is being homeschooled. Meanwhile, like we got it going on. So it caused the business just being what it is, made me grow, made me look at my life and say, oh, I've grown. So now that place, even though I haven't gone to see it, I used to love movies. I used to go to movies by myself. once or twice a week, guaranteed. Had to go to a movie by myself because I just like going to movies. It was a thing that I like to do. It was my personal little thing. Haven't been to movies in months. Didn't really care about the movie anymore, but they got me to look at growth in my life, right? And it got me to feel comfortable because I broke through the glass ceiling, and I'm still breaking through. We're still moving. We're still growing as a community, right? But it got me to go, man. You know what? I can do this now. I remember when I was homeless on the street. When I met my wife, she was making this. When I started making money, sometimes she was making three, four, five times as much as I was because I was trying to start the business from day one. I was still on my grind, this and that or whatever. And that now I saw the growth in us to where I'm taking care of her, and she doesn't have to work anymore. And if she wants to work, she can. She started her own business. She had her own business because we started together. She started, the Change Lives Initiative, that business. So she got her own business, like private, and she's got a nonprofit. She got both of those going on because of what we did together. Wow, we're in a position where we can travel and spend time and do this and that or whatever. It got me I didn't, while watching the movie, while laying down, while relaxing, and having experienced that some of the people might have to work real hard. Though some of those people had to work really, really hard. We are blessed because we just been consistent in certain values and things. Just being there in that experience, it made me remember the growth. Does your product provide something that allows? See, sometimes you might have to be like you. Sometimes your price can't come down. Now we don't, and stuff we do with SOC. We don't even price. We do everything via donation. So some people don't even pay for services that we provide, even when they promise they do. But that's between you and the Most High. I tell people that. But we provide something so much that some people say, "Man, when I get this service from you, it reminds me of growth. May I donate? May I help you to help people in Africa? May I help you to make sure that you get land? May I help you to make sure you grow your own food because you help my marriage, right?" When I'm part of this, it reminds me of growth. Does your product remind people of growth? You say, "Amen." Growth is uncomfortable but needed to have more than you know and more than you had prior. Yeah, right. Does what you provide to people, does it remind them of growth? Right, people come here right after the first session, and they come back, and after a week or so they come back, and people decide they want to keep coming and coming and coming. Why do they want to come to these live sessions that they do? Why do people want to do something on Patreon? Why do people want to take the classes that we have? Why do some of you some days feels like we with each other 5-6 hours in a day? Why would somebody do that? Not because I'm all that. Not because I'm better than everybody else. You said do or do not. There is no try. That's Yoda, right? Yoda. That's number 2, which technically is what, episode 5, right? I'm with it. I'm with it, right? But why do you come? You come back because there's growth. Why is it that you once you get some Bloom and Flourish products and you feel better? Why do you go back? Because there's growth. What you're providing to people should show growth. Something that you do should help to remind them where they came from and how they made it out. Something that you do should provide them a hope that they can become better. Where's the growth? You said stagnation is more painful than growth. Yeah, matter of fact, if you're drinking water, you don't want to drink water out of something that doesn't flow. Right? You want a river that flows. If you're going to drink water out of it, stagnant water is not great for you at all. Said you have to reinvent yourself to get to the next level. I'm on, right? And that's growth as well. You say they bring you your food, you feel significant. There you go, right? And it's constant. And so what I'm expecting, watch this, going back to number 1 need, I'm certain because of my experience that when I go back there uncertain about the movie, they'll give me a variety that they will make me feel significant. They do so because there's a connection that I have to them because of the experience that I had in love with my wife. So now guess what? It reminds me of the growth. So every time I come down there now when I bring my son next time, and it's 3 of us instead of 2 of us, guess what I'm gonna be doing? When we're sitting back and spending what some people was considered to be way too much, it's not way too much to me because it reminds me of growth, right? And we should forever be growing. Constant 10-yard fight. Amen. Thank you, Sister Betty. But it's real. It's real talk. Like people want something that's going to help them. Like your testimony is growth. When somebody gives a testimonial, man, I took this product, I went to this class, this person cooked this food, this person made this dessert, this all these things that we provide in the community, right? This person helps me with this person helped me with that. They're talking about growth. They're connected to it. There's a love there. Amen, Alicia. We're growing every day and learning every day. Right. And so what we provide, it should be. And it's a thing. Like I don't mind if somebody or something or some organization, if they make me feel like they're adding value to me, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to serve them back. I'm going to give them something. It's only natural. And some of us feel guilty. Somebody wants to give you something. Somebody wants to give you some money. Somebody wants to bless you with some clothes, and we go, "Oh no, I wasn't doing it for that." But they're not they know you didn't do it for that. You caused them to grow, and they said, "Okay, I got to bless you." You said people tell you should charge more, so they oftentimes tip over the quoted price. Yeah, because you provided growth. And watch this. Here's something wild, right? Some people will well, let's go to the sixth one. So far, the first five: the uncertainty, significance, connection, and love, growth. You know what number six is? Number six is that we have a human need to contribute. Amen. Thank you, Sister Deja, and we've grown by having you as part of us, right? So the sixth thing is what? Contribute. People have a need to contribute. This is why even if people don't know anything, they still gonna talk like they know everything because they have a need to contribute. They might not know what they're talking about, and you're like, "Why are you always talking? You don't even know what you're talking about." They got to contribute. We have a need. Yeah, testimonies help us to overcome. They remind us of growth. You said significantly brought value and knowledge of your having in my life. Amen. Thank you, Sis Betty. Right? It's growth. Digression, diminished movement. hmm Peace to you, Dennis. How you doing? Right? Stagnation is depression. I hear you. Salt and light are valuable. Am I? Right? So growth. And then the last one is to contribute. You said your husband gives away a free dollar comb with the first haircut when people overtip him because of value. Yeah, you know, like if your service makes somebody significant, right? They now feel like they can contribute. If you if they can't like so you talking about the barbershop, right? Somebody comes there with a certainty. This person, I can get my hair cut there. Uncertainty slash variety. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to get, but whatever it is, I don't know what's going on in my hair. Maybe I'm not taking care of myself correctly, but this person should be able to deal with all the uncertainty. Number three, significant. I get the haircut. I'm gonna feel more significant. Number four, now I got a connection. Well, you made me feel like this before. I got love for you. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna make sure that I put money in your pocket again. Five, when I went out there with the haircut, people looked at me differently, right? And maybe I got a promotion or something like that just because you made me look different or feel different. So now I grew in it. Number six, it caused me to be able to contribute back to society. And a lot of times that means I'm going to start with the first place where all this started, right? Amen, Minister Select Sonia. Yeah, it's a huge part of your business, right? Is making somebody feel significant. So now, after all this stuff, now the person can contribute to society. You have added value to them. Everybody wants to contribute. Everybody feels a need to contribute. You might not like the way that the racist contributes, but the racist is thinking that they're contributing to society. Now we got to flip what their mindset is, right? Prayerfully, if they even want to come out of that way of thought. But everybody wants to contribute. That testimony, you took free sample treats to Hilton Hotel, and now they sell your treats in their lobby. I'm not like amen, right? And we told people to do stuff like that before, you know, like like contribute. Watch this, contribute so that others can contribute. Then they'll pay you to help them contribute because this is a very worldly example, but prayerfully you'll get the context of it, right? There are that there are people who will like go to LA and they'll meet somebody in LA, and let's say this girl is a girl and she looks very pretty. There are people that will put these girls in a house in the hills somewhere, and they will live lavishly. They will live lavishly. Amen, Sister Barbara. I know you do. Your business is great. All right. And they will live lavishly. right? And somebody will pay for the whole experience for like a whole summer. They'll get to live up in these high, rich places where nobody can, like nobody can afford. Like these are places like, where the homes are like worth 10 million, $20 million, and they'll have like, six, seven girls living in this huge mansion. And people be like, oh, so they got to have sex and stuff. No, the only thing that they have to do to keep living there, they say, hey, to show up to this club that we own. You got to show up twice a week. You got to show up 2 times a week. You got to show up to a club, or maybe they give them 2 days a week. On these 2 days a week, these nights, you need to make sure you show up. After that, everything else that you need, all expenses paid, you're fine. You know why they do that? You know why they do that? Because when they do that, there are men that are coming there. And there was a guy I was listening to who said it like this. I like the way he said it. He said the girls are the fries. He said, like, if you go to McDonald's or whatever, McDonald's fries, they're always going to look the same. They're going to be consistent. They're going to be certain, right? And so people will pay for these fries. These fries are like the OG kind of nowadays, right? Like these are the original, the original fries, so to speak. Everybody's had these fries for decades and decades now. So you go there, you look for the fries. He said the girls and scents are the fries. There are people that come to this club, and through the club, they're like, man, we come to this club because every night these girls are consistent. These girls always look a certain way. The girls might not even do anything. They might not talk to us that much, blah, blah, whatever. But the fact that there's all these fine girls in here, it gives us hope that we can have a girl or whatever. So they're basically putting something out consistently. I'm telling you, they study your human needs. So they're saying, hey, there's certainty there. There's a variety. There's uncertainty. Maybe I get a girl, maybe I don't. But you know what? I like that variety. I like the risk. I like the fact that maybe something happened, maybe it won't. After that, it makes me feel significant. Why am I significant? Well, I'll pay to feel significant. I'll pay $50 to get up in this club tonight if it means that it makes me look great when I take a selfie, even if I don't have no girl. If I got plenty of pretty girls in the background and maybe one of them wants to take a selfie with me, even if she don't come home with me, hey, it makes me feel all right, right? Connection and love. Now I feel connected to this place and I'm gonna show love. And the people that I love, I'm gonna bring them too. I might pay for them. Or if they come one time, they might start paying to come in or whatever, right? Just because it's something that simple. There's music, there's all this stuff, but hey, a lot of guys that go into the club, guess what they're looking for? So if they're gonna give them what they want, they're gonna give them that consistency, right? Then all of a sudden that person feels like they've grown because maybe they couldn't afford that club or something like that before. But you know what? Hey, I can afford this, I can afford to be here. I grow. Now I've grown because they say my name. They know I come here every Friday or whatever. The bartender, he knows my name, he says this and that or whatever. He helps me do some problems. Maybe I've grown in life. Now I want to come back and I want to make sure that I give him and why if I grow in that or whatever, even just coming to the club, even if it's whatever, even if it's putting money in a girl's pocket, whatever it is, I'm contributing. Like they're hitting your human needs no matter where you are in your walk, no matter where you are in the world, no matter where you are in the system. They're making you, they're adding value to you. And when they add value to you, now guess what? You feel like that product or that person or that organization is now valuable. Now you'll give. That's what's going to cause you to give, right? That's what's going to cause you to give, right? You said pretty women are a draw to the clubs. No women, no club, right? What they call it if it's too many men, they say it's a sausage fest, something like that, right? Like if you a guy and you go to clubs and stuff like that, you ain't trying to deal with the club, to deal with just a bunch of men, right? Unless you go into a certain type of club, which we ain't gonna talk about. Uh Austria said, men love it when a pretty woman smiles or acknowledges them. Yeah. Now think about if you go to a club and there's 20 pretty women you run into and they paid, you don't know that they paid, but they all there and they smile at you. And a man's number one need is what? A man's number one need is to feel heard or to feel respected. Here's this woman smiling at him. He feels respected. You hit his number one need. And he's certain that when he comes there, you'll hit his number one need, right? No matter what uncertainty goes on in his life, he's certain when he comes there, you'll hit his number one need. Therefore, he knows you'll make him feel significant just because he'll smile, which means that he feels connected and he feels loved. Ain't nobody even talking to him, but he feels loved. Because he feels loved, every time he goes there, he goes back and he takes that with him and it helps him to get through his week. He feels growth. Therefore, because he feels growth, he feels like he can contribute to society. He might as well go back to the club and contribute to that club again, even if it causes him to live paycheck to paycheck. They studied you. How you doing, Flies? Thanks for being back with us, right? You said people do massage touch therapy. Amen. You said yes, I heard that to re-smile, or yeah, for a smile from a woman. Yeah. So what we're saying is, once again, these six needs, these needs lead to value. You must add value to somebody or something or someplace in order to be valuable. That's it. Do you not know that you add value to the Most High? Now, somebody would say, well, his value, blah, blah, this and that. He doesn't need it, blah, blah. But the Most High, he says, you're his wife. What wife does not add value to her husband? I didn't say you're his woman. There's some women out there trying to add value, but it's difficult because women don't hit these six needs. Wives hit these six needs. You add value to the Most High. You add value to your community. Sometimes you don't even know it. Sometimes you're not even aware how much value you add. But you add value. See, there's a certainty that you provide. That's why we got to make sure that you're on time, right? We got to make sure that we get you to being on time, because there's a certainty. If you're certain, if I'm certain that every time I show up somewhere, you're gonna show up there. If I'm certain that if you say 5 a.m., you'll be there 5 a.m. If I'm certain that you say that you love me, you're gonna show action. If I'm certain, you're right. If I'm certain of it, then you already add value to me because you don't waste my time. My time is valuable. And if you are on time, then that means that my time is valuable. You add value to me. Amen. Yeah, a lot of us aren't aware of the value that we add, or that we create, right? So that's why something as simple as being on time adds value. Something as simple as being on time, it adds value. You hear what I'm saying? Something as simple as being on time, it adds value. Why? Because you've shown somebody that no matter what happens, your time is valuable to me, which means you go, wow, they feel like my time is valuable to somebody else. That means two people now feel like that time is valuable. It was just one, now it's two. So Isaiah 54:5, it says, for the maker is thine husband, Yahweh of hosts is his name, Sham, right? And thy redeemer, the Holy One of Yastel, the Elohim of the whole Arat, so the whole earth shall he be called. Right? And watch this, verse 6 right behind it. For Yahweh hath called thee as a woman, forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth. So in your by at one point you were a woman, but now you graduated to what? A wife, even a wife of youth, when thou wast refused. You were refused by other people. Nobody even wanted you. You add value to each other. You said use a technique they don't offer in the States. Hmm. That's one too, like, so go on to your business now. So how do you add value? Do you do things that others won't do? Watch this. It's not even that, like, you got to comprehend even your clientele. Have you added value in a manner that causes people, check, peep game, have you added value in a way that causes people to say, um I have what are we looking for? Do you add value in a manner that says, like, that other people can't find it anywhere else, basically? Right? Can other people find your value everywhere else? Or do you study, once again, what makes you significant, and do you make sure you hone that craft that nobody has what you have? Nobody does what you do. People go, well, there's a bunch of people that run, but nobody runs like you run. You know how many people have started making money off of basketball and have never played on the team, right? You know how many people play the snare drum, which is something that you would think, hey, very rarely are you going to see that and somebody get paid for that. And now people just simply play the snare drum because they started going on social media. They learned how to dance to it. They started learning how to do all the tricks, and they just started playing. And as a musician, as a musician, it's It's something that I be watching some. I'm like, they're not actually that great as far as their rudiments and their note structure and their rhythm and all that stuff. It's not necessarily that great, but it doesn't matter. They're not. I'm not their clientele. You hear what I'm saying? Like that's something that we do too. Is like, man, you know what? I told y'all, you can't find it anymore because they took down the original YouTube page. But real talk, like I've told y'all, um, we used to legit, and probably the first couple things on our YouTube page now are like this too. But we used to legit have it where there might be zero people on the live. If I saw one person pop up for a second or something like that doing an hour live before, I was excited. I was let down though. It was like, oh, nobody's on, right? There are a lot of times on TikTok when I first came on, and I'm speaking, and I just had to keep speaking. I just had kept doing things and hoping that somebody would come on and listen. But you keep speaking, nobody's there, right? But it was significant to me, and all it took was okay. One person started listening and saying, "Man, you make me feel significant. You add value." Then somebody else came on. Then before I knew it, you might have two or three people on live. One of the people all of a sudden gave a super chat on YouTube and blessed us with like $50. I was like, "Whoa, $50!" you know, I wasn't ready for all that. Right? Went and then still only had two, three people. Maybe they never gave again, but like little things like that. But somebody out of nowhere, even though I had nothing, you could call it clients if you want, right? But I had nobody listening, I had nobody sawing, I had nobody who cared. So I thought, but all it took was one person that came across. Do you know your business might only be one person away? Your channel might only be one person away. I don't know what you're trying to do. I'm sorry, Valisa said part of it is probably that I don't know where I'm most about most significant, and that can be part of the problem that we definitely have to work on, for sure, right? But you can just be one person away, right? You can just be one. All it takes is one person. One person. Um, Dr. Miles Monroe. They were meeting in the storefront. He kept talking about how they were going to have this huge church and all this stuff, but they were meeting in the storefront. Six, seven people. Matter of fact, at one point they were in an apartment building. I think maybe they got to a place where maybe they had 12 people showing up regularly in a storefront. Next thing you know, somebody shows up and he's talking about vision. He's talking about all these different things or whatever. He's talking about a building. Hear what I'm saying? He starts talking about a building. Amen. Minister Select Sonia said, talk to Yah about your significance. I'm not. Amen. Right? And seek it and seek the kingdom first. And you'll discover that when all these things are added unto you, he'll start adding certain things to you that say, everything seems to be going this direction. Right. So the peep game, Dr. Miles Monroe, now, he's been passed away. He's passed away for some time now, or, died in a plane crash for some time now. But in building this Bahamas Faith International Ministries down there, he said that he kept talking about what the Most High was doing, how Yah has something. He kept talking about the vision for this building. So somebody came. He didn't know the person had a lot of money, but somebody came and listened. Person listened, said, okay, cool. Came back, listened to him speak again, pulled him to the side after the service. He said, you were talking about the building and stuff like that. He said, I like what you're doing here. I like what you're talking about. You've been talking about a building. He said, do you have plans for this building? And he actually had a vision plan, right? So if he said there was a building, he had plans. So what did he do? He pulled out a blueprint. He actually had made a blueprint for something that wasn't even in existence yet. Pulled out a blueprint. After he pulled out the blueprint, the guy looked at the blueprint. He said, I like this. And he told him, I'm gonna give you money for your building. And the same place that is Bahamas Faith International Ministries now it's the same place they worship in today. Right? All it takes is one. All you need is one person that says, man, you add value to them. All it takes is one. Deja said, hey, I'm just gonna go to this hotel and leave some free snacks. People liked them. Next thing you know, they called him up. Hey, can we get more of those? We like them all here. Thanks for the love, Oz. Appreciate it. You said, absolutely. No one else does it like me. All praise to the Most High. Trying to speak more confidence into existence. I'm out. Right? All it takes is one. You said you're all about blueprints. Love creating them for your clients. Amen. All right? All it takes is one. Should have that resume updated and ready to hand off. Yeah, all it takes is one. Yep. Like your hover spoken to existence. All it takes is what? One. All it takes is one person. All it takes is one. Now, here's the deal. People don't recognize and think about this, but and all these people that you think of being famous, these people are not quite as famous as what you think they are. So we think that we hear the name, I don't know, who somebody is out. I don't know if you guys know about somebody named Kevin on stage. Kevin on stage, who's made it to the point to where he was invited to the Oscars and stuff, right? Um, we think, if you know who I'm talking about, you know. If you don't, you know. I'm just using a couple people that I'm trying to talk about as far as like social media fame or whatever, right? Or maybe even television. Well, he doesn't have television fame. Nevertheless, we think these people are extremely this, that, or whatever. All it takes is 1 million, 2 million. Now somebody says, wait a minute, that's a lot of people. But Kevin on stage might have on IG. I'm not sure if it's on IG or YouTube. I think on IG, he might have 1 million followers, right? That sounds like a lot, but there's 8 billion people on the planet. Do you know what 1/10, a tithe, 1/10 of 8 billion people on the planet is? It would be 800 million. Do you know what 1/10 of 800 million people are? That would be eight. I'm sorry, that would be 80 million, right? Do you know what 1/10 of 8 million people are? I'm sorry, 80 million people are. Excuse me, that would be 8 million. Do you know what 1/10 of 8 million of 8 million people are? That would be 800,000. You know what 800 1/10 of 800,000 people are? 1/10 of 800,000 people, that would be what? 80,000, right? So let's go back up to 800,000. So he has point um 0.012, something like that, right? Percent of the planet subscribe to what he does. 0.012% of the planet connected to what he does. Something like that. I might be off a tiny bit on the point. Oh, I know I'm right on the 0.01. I don't know about the two, right? But something like that. And that causes him to have 1 million subscribers and get to the place to where he's invited to the Oscars, even though he doesn't do television. I'm sorry, Don, you said you called me by my first and middle names, 2 platforms, my grandbaby. Think you're talking to her? She feels connected and she sits and listens, 5 years old. Oh, that's nice. How you doing? He said I usually stop when it's 1 or 2 people online because it's just a lot. Takes a lot to show up. Yeah. Right. So think about Kevin on stage. Like this guy, you may know who I'm talking about. You may not. Right. All he needs is a 0.012% to live like a millionaire. No television show. They don't want him on. They don't want him in Hollywood. That's why he went the route that he went. Don't want him in Hollywood. He wants to be in Hollywood. He's trying hard. Obviously, he's at the Oscar, right? Yeah, he's funny. Yeah, especially his laugh. His laugh is very is infectious, right? You know, but all it took for him to get to where he is, and I know that's a lot. That's a lot of all, right? But I'm just saying, we make it bigger than what it is. 0.012. That's 1 million subscribers, and we go, man, he's famous. 0.012. And usually the way it works is you might have like only if you're doing really well, like we do really well on videos, we might have 1/10 of people that actually like what we put. 1/10 of people who watch it might put a thumbs up or a thumbs down or something. You might have, you'll have less than that actually subscribe. So, more than likely for him to get 0.012% of the planet to subscribe, he's probably got something closer to like point one, like at an extreme level, 0.1% of the planet has listened and seen his stuff, right? That's still point one, not point two, not point three, not point four, not point five, not point six, all the way up to point nine. I'm talking about that's point one. That's 10 cents out of a dollar, right? Imagine you had $8 billion and somebody got 10 cents and their 10 cents of your $8 billion changed their life. That's what happens. Out of $8 billion, 10 cents, he used certain principles and things to change his life. And before that, once again, you got to comprehend before that, right? Are you prepared to be in a place to where who knew Kevin on stage? Who knew for years anything about his wife, Melissa Fredericks? Who cared about the fact that he came from, Washington and lived in Texas? Nobody was thinking that. He was excited to be able to wear really baggy and poorly put out clothes. There's a thing that he does where they got people have to answer for the things that they wore back in the day. Yeah, him and his wife were. I don't know what MAFS is, but you say, but yeah, they're considered to be significant. He said also we have to keep in mind that number is the number of humans, not the number of internet users. That's not even a billion. Well, that's true as well, right? But I'm just saying, like out of humanity, even out of humanity, those who use the internet, that's all it takes. Like there's a lot of people who don't use the internet that are popular where they are. Right. So meeting these six human needs, these needs lead to values. You said it's been great watching him and Tabitha Brown blow up due to social media. Yeah. How you doing, Nicole? Thanks for being part of the community. Oh, hey, how you doing, babe? My wife is on, the Honorable Maya. Who lives a life to say to be honored. Once again, check her out at Bloom and Flourish, not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish on TikTok, YouTube, or website, and Pinterest. The tincture of the month is still I Am Renewed. Coming up on the end of the month. So we'll have a new tincture of the month for you guys by Friday. You said, look at Reverend Price living room to church in Inglewood. All right, corner. They bought Old Pepperdine University, I guess that is. Okay. Yeah. So what we're trying to talk about, and babe, Valisa needed freedom, KNEADED, freedom is talking about how to connect with you as far as things for product. If you want to get in contact with her, hello, how you doing, ordinary girl? So your need, you need to give people and what causes them is they need to feel like you give them value. Now, Kevin on stage is a comedian, right? Kevin on stage is a comedian. So what value does he cause? He causes people to feel better. He makes you laugh. Like there's stuff I watch. My wife will tell you because I've watched so much of his stuff. There's stuff that he has put out where I literally will rewind stuff just because I want to hear his laugh. His laugh. Like I don't necessarily find him to be the funniest of comedians. I just like his reaction to stuff. He surrounds himself, though, watch this, with a lot of people that are that I find way funnier than him. And he realizes that helps him. He travels the world. Like he helps, but it's his laugh. His laugh is more infectious to me. His laugh is of more value. His laugh adds value to me. I like it because I'm like, oh, I like it. Yeah, I like his reaction. So his reactions make me react. So I actually will watch stuff like, he doesn't do it anymore, but when they used to do Squadcast and they'd have him, Patrick Cloud, to hear more, Meg Scoops, and at one point Doughboy was on there too before him and Doughboy had their falling out. But then now it's who's the other person that's on there? Him, Meg Scoops, to hear more, Patrick Cloud. I guess they just bring a guest. They would just bring a guest on once Doughboy wasn't there anymore. Sometimes it was Tony Baker, all that stuff like that. Roast Me. Yeah, I watch Roast Me stuff, even though I know it's not PC and it definitely has curses and stuff in it. But the dozen stuff like that they use basically on Roast Me, they join them back and forth. But yeah, Kevin on stage. But like I would watch that Squadcast and I would just like listen to him laugh. So like if he was laughing about something, like I'll watch some of they have like people that do like a greatest hits of their stuff that they do. I'll go back and watch their stuff and I'm not even I'll listen to the joke and I actually watch the people's reactions. I like to watch people's I study, I study everything. So I'll study people's reactions and Kevin on stage reactions are always, always get me the most. So I'll usually like watch stuff and literally just watch because I want to hear him laugh about something that I laugh about. Now somebody would find that strange, but guess what? There's people who've made whole YouTube channels where all they do is reaction. All they do, this is my first time watching, young people, my first time watching Lord of the Rings, my first time watching Star Wars, my first time watching it, and you legit sit down. You can't even watch what they're watching, because if you watch what they're watching, then they have to put it up on YouTube, which means they can't make money off of it. So they have to literally have it to where you can hear pieces of of the movie, but then they have to fast forward a lot. Then you hear pieces, and you just sit there, watch people react to certain scenes of movies, and there's movies that you know what they're doing, but you can't see it. Like sometimes they'll like try to put the thing on the screen, but they have to blur it out. So you can't even really see what's going on. But if you've seen the movie before, you know what's going on. And people are sitting here racking up because there are people who watch this. They don't feel loved. They don't feel certainty in life. They don't have really any variety or uncertainty, or they don't have a variety of friends. They don't have many friends. They're in a situation. I'm not saying this is great. I'm just trying to tell you how they're studying you, how these businesses are working, right? They don't feel significant, right? They don't feel connection. So hey, I feel connection with this person. At least they're going to show up on time. They're going to give me a video once a week. They're going to do this. They're going to do that, right? They feel like this helps them get through. Some people watch this while they dealing with cancer, right? They're in the hospital. They don't know if they're going to make it, and they watch videos with somebody else. Sometimes they, and so they watch the video. They went and watched the movie. Then they watch somebody react to the movie. They said, "Wow, this person, felt that way about that scene. This is how I felt." They put it in the comment section. You're building an audience. You're building somebody who you're adding value to them, right? And then all of a sudden, what they want to contribute. So now they want to contribute back. Now they want to contribute to somebody else. Maybe they want to talk to their parents. Hey, I was just watching this movie. What do you think about it? They want to contribute whatever they can. You're adding value to somebody. These 6 human needs, and now because you've added value to somebody, guess what? Right? Because you made sure you took care of these needs. Now you have value. Yeah, laughing is medicinal, right? One of the first things they'll tell you, like if somebody is dealing with something, even before you start going through all these treatments or whatever, sit down and watch shows that make you laugh. Sit down and watch things that make you laugh. Oh, thank you, Breezy. Right? Sit down and watch things that make you laugh. Real talk. Right? Like it will add value to you. And when something adds value to you, that human need pops up in you. I got to contribute something. A lot of people don't contribute. You know why a lot of people don't contribute? If we keep it 100, a lot of people don't contribute because they don't believe that they add value or that they have any value. If you want people in your community to start contributing more, start finding ways to add value to your community. Watch all of a sudden contribution comes. If somebody like it doesn't make sense, right? But it does make sense. If somebody is struggling and they say, "Man, you know what? There's no way I can give to anybody else. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and really I'm behind on bills. I don't know how in the world I'm paying my bills that I have now." It's kind of a slap in the mouth to somebody to say, "Well, make sure that you give an offering or something." I believe you should, but nevertheless, like I'm not going to hit somebody while they're down, you know. But a lot of people don't contribute because they don't think that they have anything of value. Well, I'm just, I'm too, whatever your situation is, I'm just locked away. I'm shy. Nobody really is gonna want anything from me. I'm not really attractive like that, so I don't think, like you've already talked yourself out of what having value, and really it's coming from the fact that your needs are not there. You said your family always making people laugh. We joke on each other. Hey, look, like I be telling people, don't come around. Look, if you want to see a bad side, I don't know if it's a bad side, but people be thinking you perfect. So if you want to see a bad side of me, family, like we trying to meet up with cats in South Carolina, April 16th, right? And we invited everybody in that area, Southern Virginia, from Georgia. We trying to invite everybody to come out. Uh, Real talk. If y'all come out and y'all want to hang out, if we end up sitting down somewhere and chilling, if y'all want to see a bad side, y'all think is, I'm not going to curse or anything like that, but y'all want to see a bad side of Kofi, right? Like, don't play cards with me because we go in and we might hurt your feelings. So you might not, you might tell, I might just have to stay away from the card table if we play in spades. Or I don't really do talk anymore, but we play in spades, or Somebody want to play bid whist or somebody want to play bones. I'm terrible at bones, but I'll still talk trash. But whatever. You bring out them Uno cards. That's something we used to play when we was little, right? And the whole family, we had 20, 30 people. We had to get 5, 6 decks of Uno cards, right? And we, had 20 people at the table. We had to have 2, 3 tables put together, 20 people sitting up there and playing against each other. Some of the longs, and the whole game, we just gonna be going in, right? So I'm just saying, like, but right, like it's be careful. I don't want to make somebody feel like I won't add value to them or whatever, right? You said shoots and ladders. I guess shoots and ladders. You can't really get competitive about shoots and ladders. I guess you could, right? But I'm just saying. Like, yo, when we meet up or whatever, we're gonna be trying to go meet up with everybody before October. Maybe Florida possibly might be later than October, but we're gonna try to meet up with everybody in all the different regions and stuff before October. But I was just saying, as far as this one on April 16th. And like I said, I'll probably try to be there 14th through the 17th. If people want to try and come and do some stuff, or Passover 15th is going to be Passover, so I might not be of a mindset to do too much on that date. But nevertheless, and we're going to reach out to everybody, try and in that region again today. But yeah, it's but long story short, like, don't come, that, hey, I understand, like, there's certain times that I might not add value to, so you got to be careful with who you're around, because some people, they can't take it, you know because I come from places. Now, I'm not as bad as hitting it on the table, but I mean, I come from places where, look, we've been in churches. I don't care how holy you've been. Somebody will come when it's time, when we run a Boston on you up in spades. We come from back here with it. If you know the term, right? You run a Boston, you can't run a Boston just like this. You run a Boston, that 10th book has got to come back from, it's got to come from Somalia somewhere and come across the ocean, hit the table, right? So I'm just saying, if we come together in that, right? Like, I'll try to make sure that I'm nice, because I want to make sure that we add value, right? I don't want somebody thinking we don't add value, right? But just joking, of course, right? But I'm just saying, but you hear what I'm saying? Like, even in that, right? Like, having a conversation, doing something like that, causing people to be able to look at it differently, things of that nature, it becomes something that adds value to a person. Something like that allows somebody to smile. You said you see your husband do that all the time. Yeah, I'm just saying, right? If it's a boss, if I say, I'm just saying, like, if I look up and I say I got 7 and 2 possibles, I don't lie. I know how to make sure I count books. And it's coming on, it's coming back from here, right? 'Cause you can't get 9 books and then just get 9 like this. The ninth book, especially, it's got to come with it, right? So, right, some people nice and they lay their hand out on the table. They just say, y'all might as well just not play, because this is what's gonna happen. But I'm gonna make sure that you're gonna play out every hand and you're gonna get every every single one, right? I remember back in the day that people used to get crazy with it, like, where they do all types of stuff. But I'm just saying, we get together, family. We're gonna be family. All right. You said bring the thunder. I'm just saying, we get together, family. We're gonna be family. You said you gotta you gotta bring your swivel on the card table on Bones. Oh yeah, Bones is ridiculous. I'm not that great at Bones, though. I'm just telling you, you might not want to be my Bones spades partner. You might want to be my spades partner, right? Bid whist, I'm pretty decent, but I'm not good. Uno, you don't really got no partners, right? But with Bones, I'm not necessarily great. You might not want to partner with me on Bones. I'm just saying. But spades especially, got you all day, every day. Been playing that since they had spades on the computer, and the old folk wouldn't let you play, and you had to learn how to play watching them, and then you had to play against each other in school, and then eventually you became the adult, right? And y'all know, so whoever needs to be taught, so even if you need, look, we can do a spades class, because you know how black folk is. Once it's time to play spades, we don't teach spades, right? So if you need your lessons prior to, make sure that you get your lessons in. I'm just saying, because we ain't gonna be nice with it. You said woke the cards up, or the cards folk up, like watching the competition. Hey, you know what it is. You said help serve drinks because cards ain't your right. But hey, I'm just saying, black folk, we don't teach you how to play cards. When we playing, we ain't got time for all that. Don't be my part. That'll be the game ain't the time to learn, right? So make sure you get your learning in. I'm just saying, I love y'all, right? If there's got to be a learning table, I'll go and set up a learning table where everybody else is playing. But we can teach you real quick and stuff. But when it's time to play, if you want to see Israel act a fool, that's one of the times where Israel needs some repentance. We need some prayer at that point. That's when when them cards come out. That's when we have to we got to be careful not to go to Deuteronomy 28 verse 15 because we'll be fine on a lot of stuff, but we bring out them cards and we act a fool, you know. But I'm saying all that, like, can you see even in that though, in that transaction we just had, you see the stuff. You said, okay, I've been playing spades and bones since 5 with grown folks. Say, oh, see, they ain't let us play at the grown folks table, Shima. They ain't let us play at the grown folks table, but you must have known how to play. But they ain't let us know. They ain't teach us, especially bid whist. Like bid whist is something that a bunch of spades players still don't even know how to play at this day. And I didn't learn Tonk at home either. I ain't learned that at all. Exactly. You know that's right. Also, the game ain't that's not the time to learn, right? You know, but see how that yeah, it's serious, right? You said your father taught you bid whist and bones of fire. See, man, they wouldn't let us. But you know what? I think it was a thing of like they was doing grown folk stuff, like they was drinking and doing all that. So that's probably why, or maybe they let y'all play in spite of that. I don't know, but that's probably why they didn't let us play. Because they was doing stuff, we were supposed to be in the child's place. So that was their way of being like, don't be around drinking. That's probably why. You said it sounds like he's trip sounds like you were trying to talk to people at the game before they even I don't understand. Yeah, my family taught me. Very competitive family. Everyone had to learn to play. Okay. Well, bid whist is basically like, I mean, it's kind of sort of like hearts meet spades. That's not even a great way of explaining it. If you know the game of hearts, some people don't even know about hearts, but basically like hearts is like a very nice version of spades, kind of sort of in bid whist. But bid whist basically like you can change the trump card. I don't know if that even makes sense. If you bid whist one of those games, like it's kind of like spades, but you can change the trump card, but then you can also make it high, you can make it low. Um, and then people play all these games differently. Like when I go to different states, people always have different rules. Like don't play Uno. Like if we play Uno with each other, please, y'all. Like spades is somewhat easy. That's more universal. If we play Uno, please, y'all, like we're gonna have to figure out what rules because people do not follow the actual rules of Uno. I don't think people have ever learned the rules of Uno. So everywhere you go, people play Uno different, But you said it sounds like I'm trying to talk people out of playing. Oh no, that's just how it is. I want you to come your best. I want you to come with your best. You said your mother was tired of you father fussing and making and mess talking. Oh, oh, yeah. Hey, how you doing, Chef? You said have to do an interview in order to be a spade part. I mean, you might have to. It's tough. Like a lot of people don't play spades unless they play with their partner. We done went into all the spade stuff for like the last 7 minutes. And we went away from this, but you see even something like this, how it causes us to add value to each other. You see, like this experience that we have, it makes that connectivity, right? Now we have a connectivity. I think it was Minister Select Sonia said we woke up all the card players, right? Like just speaking about something like this, it causes people to say, "Man, I can connect." Yeah, I can connect. I remember my parents did this. I've been playing since I was this. You said just learn how to play Uno the correct way. Or you started playing on Facebook. Oh, actually Facebook Uno. I think is weird. Well, I don't know which one. They got different versions of it, but I think it's like a weird new version too. Yeah, Uno's a huge thing. I'm telling you, Uno was that was my spades as a child. Like that was like what you played. You said that's true. Rules depend on where you're from. Part of our culture, yeah. And I admit, not perfect spades partner, but we ain't getting up from the table anytime soon. Hey, I'm just look. That's how you that's bare minimum. That's all I ask. Long as you ain't gonna do nothing crazy or renege or something like that. You do that, we might have a problem. Now, this isn't real. This isn't my story. I remember they were talking. I think it was going back to what I was talking about to hear more on the thing. I think he said that there was one time he was joking, but he was talking about how he hates playing spades because it's too much pressure, and he said basically like he saw a guy who was like real short, and there was a guy, his partner, who was supposed to be like 6'6" and like muscular. And he said the 6'6" guy reneged. And he said that the little short guy, little like 5'5" guy stood up and slapped him across his face. And he said because it was spades, he was like, everybody knew, like, hey, that's what you deserve. Now, I don't go that far. But I mean, people get serious. So we got to be careful. We ain't going to obviously like go too far, but a little fun trash talk or something like that. But something like this, it helps us. Connectivity. We just in doing that, we added value. We added value. Just in doing something like that, we added value. You seen that episode? Yeah. That wasn't even Squadcast. That was unpopular opinion. That's what they called that one, unpopular opinion, right? And he said unpopular opinion that spades is trash, but he was saying that spades is trash because it is, But yeah, like that's basically what something like that. That's just an exercise. You see that exercise, it shows that something like that it causes connectivity. And so some of us will remember this conversation deep down inside, somewhere in the recess of your mind, even you will always find this conversation. And it's something that connects you. And so when we meet, guess what? One of the first things you might do is you might bring out a pack of cards because Pastor Kofi was talking trash, but it's connectivity. You said we're about to break in the table, throw in your last book. You said, yeah, it doesn't have to go to assault at the table. Yeah, but it's real, right? So like something like that, it causes us. You see how that causes us to come together as community. It caused a connection point. We just added value to what we're doing. Everybody just added value. We just got to read about each other's experiences. We got to read about when people started. People were telling us about their childhood. Somebody just said, man, this reminded me of my parents and this and that, and how my mom didn't like this, and now I miss my parents. Somebody talked about how, I play this on Facebook or I do this, like something like that. It causes us to have connectivity. I've never played Phase 10. I know what Phase 10 is. I've never played it though. Do I know how to play it? I used to know how to play it, but I never played it. Never once, in all honesty. You said your mom played tournament cards, spades, but was taught you how to play. Yeah. You hate table talk, can't play with family, they always cheat. Yeah. Yeah, people do be covered up with particular stuff. I never really cheat because if you're a great spades player, like spades particular, if you're a great spades player, you don't have to. You really don't have to. As long like the person just putting down certain cards, you should be able to read what's going on. Same in all games, I guess you could say too. But something like that though is connectivity. See how these 6 human needs, certainty, uncertainty, certainty, uncertainty, significance, connection and love, growth, and contribute. Right? If we do those things, it causes people to have value added to them. When you add value to somebody, right, they add value to you. When you add value to somebody, they add value to you. That's why people like to talk about stories. Stories and stuff like that, it's just testimony. That's testimony time. That's testimony time. That's testimony time. When we come together, that's testimony time. Like, that's all you're doing. That's why people, even though I don't think we should, but that's why people will come together on stories about getting they behind whooped. It's connectivity. I can connect with you. And because you went through something similar that I went through, now it wasn't just me by myself. Somebody else went through it. It adds value. It's weird, but it's true. You said you did fundraiser slash card game and PlayStations. It was hilarious and great. Yeah, PlayStation people get nowadays. Children get more. Are more in just PlayStation and stuff like that than they are cards. But like don't get in PlayStation tournaments stuff like that. I don't even get a chance to be behind the sticks no more. So I can't even act like I could play. Beat people up or something like that anymore. My wife says she got them whoopings. Yeah, but we'll talk about it. We'll compare it. I got whipped with the extension cord. Well, I got to get that switch. Well, I got the switch. I had to braid it up. I mean, it's terrible. We comparing people's pain, but that's what they're doing. It's connectivity. And we go, oh, okay. So a lot of other people went through it. If everybody went through it, oh, you said bring it on, Sister Beverly. Okay, I got you. I got you. Now, when we talk trash to each other, when we come together, I'm just letting y'all know when we talk trash, I talk trash to the people that I love. All right. So when we whooping you and stuff, when we go, what's the standard? The standard is usually 500, right? 500, and then you get up from the table. So when we go 500, the score is like 500 to 250. And that's if we just feel like being nice to you today, me and my partner, um, just make sure that you're all right. Just make sure that it's out of love. Just make sure I do it because I love you. That's all. All righty. So, right. My wife said she deserves a few of those whoopings. Yeah, you said you had to go get your own switch from the tree. Yeah. So those are things that we do. It's connectivity. It's connectivity. Ladies, why do you talk about the stores, your favorite stores you go to? It's connectivity. You said your son and you bonded through PlayStation. Still talk about it. Yeah. Why is it that you talk about the store that you go to? Girl, where you get that dress? Well, I went to Macy's. I went to I don't even know the name of these stores. I'm about to talk about old stores and stuff. I don't even go to stores like that anymore. I went to this market. I see the stores in my head and I don't even know the names. Uh, uh, I see the store anyways, whatever it is. I went to such and such store. I went to this. I went to Victoria's Secret. I went to blah blah. I went to this. It's connectivity, not Target. Marshalls. Went to Marshalls, and then the other one is just like Marshalls to me. At least it's just like Marshalls. The other one, went to this. I went to that. Why do y'all have a store? Oh, I went there. They had this at Five and Below. Oh, you got that Five and Below? Okay. Like why are you having that discussion? Why are you talking about those things? Why is that important? Because it's connectivity, right? And TJ Maxx is the other one, right? TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls. To me they all the same thing. I know they're not, but to me they all the same thing. I don't really know the difference. They look when I go inside one, I feel like I go inside all of them, but they all look like storage containers to me. I know it's not the experience for y'all, but I go, if you 21, what is it, Forever 21, and then there's another one that's just like it, but it's called something different, whatever. All that stuff. Like, you go in there and and you basically, dealing with that. What you said, oh, Woolworth. That Woolworth, man, I haven't been in a Woolworth in forever. I ain't know Woolworths was still around. The Gap, J. Crew, budget version, Old Navy. Oh yeah, Old Navy. Yeah, I think I've been in the Old Navy legit. I think once or twice my entire life, at least. Besides, probably my mom. My mom was a huge shopper. My mom always wanted quality, so over quantity. So we might have had that many clothes, but she would save up if we were going to go to a place. I don't think we ever did use. Well, we had used clothes, but it was not because my mom ever wanted to. My mom was always everything in our house was going to be high end. We didn't have as much as other people had, but we had high end everything. You said Woolworths are gone, okay, but I'm just saying, why do you have that connect? Why do you talk about those things? It's connectivity. Oh, okay. I'm not the only person that went there. Okay, cool. Well, we have something we add value to each other because we're talking about someplace that we've been. You know, some people talk, like what's here's an example of a store that's been gone for sure, right? Isn't people's drug is gone, right? CVS bought all the people's drugs or whatever. So like, why do you talk about like if you were to say somebody, man, you remember people's drugs? It's just a convenience store. It really wasn't even a great price convenience store, but it's just a convenience store, right? Why are we going to talk about it for so long? Well, there are certain things that were a certainty, right? There are certain things that were there uncertain. Well, I went to this one. Oh, I didn't know this one existed. Blah blah. Oh, this one turned into. Oh yeah, they all turned into CVS. Blah blah. Right? You talk about you're going to talk about significance. I went there. I used to go there to get my medicine. Blah blah. Whatever significance made you feel better. Whatever connection and love. Now we connected to the same spot, right? And now all of a sudden we've grown. We both grown past people's drugs to now the places that we go to today. You see growth, right? And out of that, like you see what I'm saying? Like you can contribute something to a conversation. It's the same 6 human needs that are showing up, and those needs cause value. Now you have a valuable relationship. My wife said Bath and Body Works used to be everything. Yeah, Bath and Body Works to me was just like I felt like Bath and Body Works was well, I don't know. Some people to me, Bath and Body Works was like IKEA on steroids. IKEA obviously has bigger items, but Bath and Body Works to me was like just so much. I couldn't, I don't do well at places like that. I'm too micro. So after a while, it's just too much. It's like it's too much stuff. Like you gotta have 100 different types of of pillowcases. Like, come on, it's for me, it's too much. I started losing them a little bit you know but to each their own. But see, it's something that for me, like, so if you were trying to sell something on to me, right, as far as that, like, that's way too much. What's the candle place? What's the candle place, babe? What's the place that we go to? Well, we haven't been there in a long time, but you like to get candles from a place or whatever. Is that what it is? Bath and Body Works? I think I was thinking about Bed Bath and Beyond. Bath and Body Works. Bath and Body Works. That's what you just said. I'm sorry, I was thinking about Bed Bath and Beyond. Yep. Bath and Body Works is something different. My bad. Yeah, Bath and Body Works. And so like hey, how you doing, Cash? All these different things or whatever, right? Like something like that, even that's a lot for me, but at least it's usually gonna be smaller than the other places, so I can kind of make through. But if you were gonna do something with connectivity with me, now you got to get in the love language, right? So that might not be the love language. So, but if I'm not if I'm not a connoisseur of your product, so to speak, right? If I'm not a connoisseur of what you have to say, then I'm not tripping, right? Like so, but you just shouldn't trip either, right? Because not everybody. So here's another thing out of that: not everybody's going to add value. Not everybody's going to connect to you. And watch this. That means you don't add value to everybody. Now, this is something that really messes with people, right? As we get ready to take our leave, because I really don't have much left. We're spending more time talking about cars, it feels like, than everything else for a while, right? But you will not add value. This is gonna mess with somebody. But that's why we all have different gifts. We all have different talents. We all have different ways we see that we see the world. We all have different influence. You will not, and I'm sorry to say this, because I know everybody tells, but you will not add value to everybody. You know why? Because you are not built to add value to everybody. Right? As we get ready to take our leave, we'll end on this. You shall not. I know you said, well, no, the Bible says love everybody. I didn't say love everybody, right? Or you can't love everybody. I said you will not add value. You cannot. That's what people get mad. Well, why are you doing this? Why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you talking about the trans community, this and that, or whatever? Look, that's not even my fight, and I don't even know where to start. Not because I don't have love. I mean, I could tell you about things, but it's not my goal that they will remain that way. If you want me to accept their humanity, I can accept their humanity, right? So I cannot, just by how what I am called to do, I'm not called to them. Do you know there are people that actually believe in the truth that are called to the trans community, and they go and they talk to people, and they have people be able to change their mindset and go back to what they were originally called to be, even if they get chopped up and everything. Sorry for saying it that way, but if they legit, that's what's happening to them, some of them, right? But even if they've gone through hormonal stuff, lost members of their body, done all types of stuff, whatever, added members to their body, whatever it is, there are people that are actually called to that. That's not my calling. So I can't really go there. It's not that I don't have love for them. I'm still, if they need something to eat, I'll still make sure you eat. You need prayer, I pray for you. If you need a place to stay, I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I don't know if you be in my house because I've got a child there. At the same time, though, We can find somewhere for you to stay, but it's just not my call. You're not called to add value to everybody. And that's a specific thing. That's look, some people they just like to going back to the fast food references we were talking about earlier. Some people they like Wendy's. And um, no matter what Burger King comes out with, if it ain't Wendy's, they ain't eating it. Some people like Costco, right? It doesn't matter if Sam Club got the same thing. Matter of fact, it doesn't even matter if Sam's Club had the same thing at a lower price. They're still going to go to Costco because in their mind, Costco is what they are connected to. You can try all day to force everybody to do something, but people comprehend, big businesses comprehend that not everybody rolls with them. Look, eBay ain't been eBay since Amazon took over, but some people still ain't doing nothing on Amazon. They're going to still try to do everything through eBay. Right? Like it doesn't matter. Right? Doesn't matter what you try to do. Right? Like Amazon might be faster, it might be cheaper, but they say no, I'm faithful. Right? So you cannot. You hear what I'm saying? You cannot believe that you're going to reach everybody. Once again, what did we say about Kevin on stage? Right? If he's got 1 million subscribers, right? That means that means like 0.01, like 0.012 or something like that, people on the planet know about him, and yet that's enough for him to be able to live well. You hear what I'm saying? All at 0.012. That means 0.012. I don't know the math was that. So that means 99.888, something like that. 99.88% of the people on the planet do not think enough about him to support him or follow him. Right? But he still lives a millionaire's lifestyle, still just showed up at the Oscars, still doing great things. And look, I don't agree with everything he does or says, but he gets views. So even in the fact that he serves me well, I still don't. He still doesn't. He's still not perfect for me. So there's still what variety, uncertainty. So still, because of that uncertainty, I can go somewhere else if I need something else. But what I'm saying is like that he is he's in a position where he's thinking different. I'm sorry, Bloom first is as fast as Amazon and delivery of the tinctures. Oh, thank you, Minister Alexonia. Yeah, right. So he all he has to do for 1 million subscribers, all you got to do is reach 0.012. We're not close to 1 million. We were at 7,000 or whatever. Now we had 530 something on YouTube. Right. We were at 50,000 plus twice. Matter of fact, 60,000 plus once, right? And then 50,000 once, 50,000 plus once on TikTok. Now we're just around 20 something thousand again, right? But in hitting those numbers, we do well, and we're working on buying land, y'all. Just with that number of people, it doesn't take as much as what you think. Do you hear what I'm saying? It doesn't take as much as what you think. When you see somebody on there, 1 million subscribers, right? It doesn't take as much as what you think. I'm not saying it doesn't take hard work, this and that. What I'm saying is don't think that you're about to change the whole world. That's not like Kevin on stage doesn't reach the whole world. As much as you think these people do, Will Smith is not known by everybody on the planet. The thing that happened with Will Smith slapping somebody, a whole bunch of people don't care on the planet. A whole bunch of people on the planet, believe it or not, they don't know who Chris Rock is. Right? Like I know that will stun some people. There's a whole bunch of people that don't care. There's a whole bunch of people who don't care that Hulk Hogan says something racist because they don't even know who Hulk Hogan is. Right? Don't drink the Kool-Aid and believe everything that you hear. You said that was staged. If it was staged, if it wasn't, I'm just telling you, nobody knows. A lot of people don't care. Right? So it doesn't take as much. And I'm not trying to come at you bad way. That kind of came off as rough. Please forgive me, Jay. But like I'm just saying, like a lot of people they don't really care. Whether they know them or not, but a lot of people don't even know. We just think everybody knows because in Western society, well, everybody's got to know about Hollywood. Some people don't care. you know, like we have this weird thing. So don't think that just like it takes that to be famous. A lot of people don't know. I don't know. Benjamin Cumberbatch. A lot of people don't know who that is. A lot of people don't know who Miley Cyrus is. We just have this weird thing of thinking that everybody had no, like a lot of people might not know, and that's okay. You said I felt that energy, it was real, but still, like you said, a lot of people don't care. You said Will's humiliation ritual to win his first Oscar. Oh, it could be. A lot of stuff in that is as there. I mean, not a lot of stuff. All of that is Illuminati. Like it all is Masonic. Like they're in when they come there to the Oscars, they go down the red carpet, all that stuff. The place when you look at it, they don't show you, but if you ever go there, it's called Little Babylon, and it's supposed to be a replica of a movie that they made in like the 1920s or 30s or something. Then at the time, if you put in for inflation and all that, like I think it's the biggest movie to ever exist and the most watched movie ever, or something like that. If you go by inflation and numbers and stuff like that and adjust everything for the times. And then they based that off of what Babylon was supposed to be based off of ruins and stuff. So they actually, when they walking through that and they go inside, there's a checkerboard floor. You're always going to see every year. There's going to be a woman that looks like Venus de Milo, kind of, sort of. You're going to see a lot of different stuff. And by the way, she looks similar to Columbia. If you actually look at Columbia, the same Columbia that's in DC. That's neither here nor there, but they kind of do some similarities. Like, yeah. So, but I'm trying to tell you that you're not. My main point on that. Yeah, I still haven't. I just by accident. I was trying my best not to see it. It's almost impossible. I was trying not to watch the slap. I still haven't watched everything when he yelled at Chris Rock or whatever. It makes me very uncomfortable. You know, so Will and Rock have a little bad history, joke and poor taste. She has alopecia. Yeah, yeah, but every year, any comic, anytime that he would have came there, period. Any comic that they invite for the last 20 years, including Chris Rock even before, but Ricky Gervais, any of them, they're supposed to be. Supposedly they hire comics. The comic is supposed to open up. The first thing that the comic is doing is supposedly just say it's supposed to be there to say like to basically say Hollywood doesn't take itself so seriously. So they always bring people there specifically to like bring fire, like to rain down fire on people. Kevin Hart, um, Chris Rock, Ricky Gervais. I'm trying to remember other people in the past. Um, did Dave Chappelle? No, Dave Chappelle wasn't popular long enough before they took him away uh, from doing it. But yeah, like and even presenters, they have presenters that come out supposed to do the same thing. They're supposed to just make fun of people across the board. Matter of fact, if you've ever watched, I don't know if they still do them or not. There used to be this thing that they had called the Hoodie Awards or something, and they had people come out and literally like people would just roast people. The guy from what's is it Michael? What's Tamala Mann's husband's name? Whatever his name is. Um, he came out. There's a famous thing of him and a heavy set comedian. I'm forgetting his name, Lavelle or something like that. And they went back and forth and were making fun of each other doing the dozens. It's something that they do on purpose. You're supposed to bring somebody out. They make fun of everybody. It's supposed to say we don't take ourselves so seriously. We're not better than you. This, that, or whatever. And so that part of it or whatever. But we could talk about why is this and that is not that part of it's not really my concern. And yes, is it okay that he defended his wife? Sure. Do I think that, especially if he's talking about trying to be an example and all that to the community and stuff, which is facetious. Like he's somebody who's doing all types of wild stuff behind the scenes and stuff himself. But nevertheless, like if you believe it was real and not staged, was that the place for him to do it? No, I told my wife, like, if I felt like he did that and crossed the line with you, I would have seen he would have had to see me, but he wouldn't have seen me on national television. I mean, number one, if we just keep it 100, because black males. I'm not gonna go any further than that. Like, you got a black male that slapped another black male on television, and both of you are supposed to be famous. Basically, what you told the whole world was, no matter how famous you get, you still an N word. I mean, that's kind of what you did, you know, right? You said you don't care either. You sent the video, thought it was horrible what they did or what he did. Yeah, Everybody was sharing it all over. It was hard not to watch. Yeah, I tried my best not to watch it, and it was actually on something on like a news program, and you know, like I was trying to pause it, and I couldn't hit pause fast enough. And really, he didn't do much. Like like he came, and you can tell that that he's trained and fighting and stuff like that or whatever. The way that he came, the quickness of the hit and everything was a lot, But it is what it is. Yeah, defended his wife. I'm just saying in that situation, yeah, like I said, in that situation, I would have found a way to make sure that he saw me. If I felt like I needed to put hands on him, it just wouldn't have been on national television. Not just only that, because charges can be pressed. Chris Rock didn't press charges. You know. So if it was, but it could be staged, it might not be staged. I don't know. I really don't want to get into that. My whole thing was just basically saying that the world doesn't necessarily know what took place last night. A lot of people kept it moving. A lot of people in the United States of America heard about it, looked at it, and then said, "Okay, whatever." And by the end of the week, people will be trying to get you to focus on something else. I don't know if it was an act. That's what I'm saying. Some people were saying it has to be an act. It has to be this. I don't know. You know, you said I believe it hurt him that she was hurt publicly. Yeah, and I get it. Said he wasn't that mad about the adultery, but a joke gets battery. They can keep their system. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like that was my deal. It's like if you felt like that in public, like August and all that stuff. But I guess he was signed up for August, so to speak. But if you were gonna beat somebody publicly, like August can go get him. For those people that say, well, August is just a young boy and this and that, he's the same age of his son, he's his son's friend, he's the same age. Look, Chris Rock is what, 150 pounds, soaking wet, right? Will Smith is probably like 220, 230, 240, 250, depending on what he's training for, right? They couldn't even be close to fighting if they were in the boxing ring together, it would be illegal, you know. But once again, I get it. That's his wife, this, that, or whatever. Somebody says something about your wife, that's different than somebody putting hands on your wife, but I get it. He felt like he did it publicly, so he needed to go ahead and do whatever publicly. I told people this before. Look, Will Smith, he a brother from Philly. You mess with a brother from Philly's wife, you got that. But a lot of people are going to be dealing with the distraction. And what I'm trying to tell you is while we're distracted and even talking about it now, there's a whole bunch of people who would never hear about it and could care less. If they do hear about it, they don't want to see it, right? But it also speaks to the fact that if we be honest, going back to this thing of adding value, you got to be careful who's adding value to you. Now, Will Smith is a human being, so he deserves to be a human being, right? But you got to be careful about who's adding value to you. So many people, I'm so disappointed. I followed everything Will Smith did. I thought that he was a great person. By the way, those who are on the podcast, we're probably going to wrap it up on all the platforms. But if you want to join us on another platform, feel free to. It's probably going to have us come. It's going to force us to be of here in about a couple minutes. So thank you for being on. If you're on the podcast, feel free to join us on TikTok or Facebook. Right, right. But getting back to it, it's I'm sorry, he said he didn't go after 50 when he said something about his wife. Yeah, but Will Smith has in the past. He's tried to fight people behind the scenes, Tupac, even though Tupac went out with his wife, but before they got together. But like him and his wife have an open relationship. So obviously the disrespect of his wife, but I guess it depends. I guess in his mind, if they have an open relationship, they're supposed to that's supposed to be fine. But I think there's a bunch of other stuff that's going on. It wouldn't surprise me if something else was going on with Jada as far as her health. It wouldn't surprise me if he just had a lot going on. Remember, he just finished doing that movie too. And remember, actors they give up their soul in a sense to be able to perform a character. They actually take on spirits to be able to perform characters. So he probably is living with that same actor. They have to literally drama. They have to take on the spirit of somebody else. So he could have Venus and Serena's father was a different type of cat. Now he defended his daughters no matter what. Some people say too far. I don't think he ever went too far with his daughters, but their father was from Compton, had a lot of stuff in him or whatever too. So that could be something that came in there. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, and then I guess in his book, I haven't read his book, in entirety. Really, I haven't read his book at all, but I know a couple excerpts. And apparently, one thing that was real big with him, I think it's in the first chapter, that his mother was somebody who was beaten all the time by his father. And he said the weakest he ever felt was he was like 9 years old. He saw his father hit his mother so hard that blood started coming out of her mouth, and it felt like it was coming out of his mouth. Right. So he basically was like said that that made him feel the most helpless he ever felt before in life. So because of that, he basically said that like it was really a big deal to him to defend his wife, yada yada yada. So could have been that, could have been a lot of different things. At the end of the day, be careful about who you allow to be your influence. Be careful about who you're having connectivity to. Be careful about who you think is going to be the person that adds value to you. Is Will Smith, is somebody out here telling you guys so much about motivational stuff, and he'll slap a man. And by the way, slap is different. Like, I'm gonna just tell you, first of all, if Will Smith had approached me like that, I would have been in fighting stance. Like we gonna square up. You ain't just gonna walk up on me and think you just gonna do anything to me. I don't know what you was going, but the fact you walking on me like that after you just finished cussing me out, like we gonna have a problem. Number two, if you slap me, like be ready to you ain't gonna just turn around and walk away from me. Right? Like if you slap me, like slapping is the most disrespectful thing you can do to a man, right? Number three, you sit up there telling everybody about marriage, and you out here, you and Jada doing whatever, whatever. Then you sitting up there talking about bad marriage for life, like bad boys for life, bad marriage for life, right? You're telling people all these different things about being a father, but your son is out here doing a lot of questionable things, and your daughter is out here sleeping with men, taking pictures of men in her bedroom that y'all are cool with doing, and these men are 25, 26, and your daughter 13, 12 at the time. Just finished not too long before, they're talking about she whip her hair back and forth. Now all of a sudden you got her, out here with men, grown men. She a little girl. Like, look at you and Jada's situation. Look at the fact you've been cheating out here. I don't think people should be surprised, right? Like figure out who you getting your value from. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's not allowed to be a human being. Be a human being. Have imperfection. That's fine. You know, like be fine. And by the way, Chris Rock said it, and he didn't like the fact that he said it. But and it was in bad taste, poor taste. Look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Y'all ready? I know we said we're gonna take our lead, but just being honest with y'all. Look, don't go to a comedy show if you don't think that you or whoever you're going with can take a joke, because that's definitely not the worst joke Chris Rock could have said, and that's definitely not the worst joke that I've heard a comedian say to somebody. Right? So that's definitely not, you know, the worst thing that he could have said. He could have said a whole bunch of stuff about both of them cheating. Right? And by the way, I can see why Chris Rock didn't necessarily come after him. He had a lot of self-control. Now, I don't think Chris Rock could have handled Will Smith, so maybe that's why he didn't either. Maybe he was shocked at the fact he did it on national television, but they still had a show to do. And what a lot of people miss is that right after that, they brought out eh, what's his face? From the Roots, drummer from the Roots. Everybody always says I look like him just because I have hair and a beard and a mustache. Um, Q, Questlove. Questlove actually won for a show that he put out and won an Oscar. It was sitting up there crying and talking about, making sure that people understood what was going on with people up in New York at the time. Another guy from Philly, by the way, couldn't get love because, Will Smith had to smack the taste out of somebody's mouth. Will Smith won his first Oscar, and him and Jada, by the way, were people that said that everybody should boycott the Oscars because he didn't win for Ali. Nobody cares about that because he slapped the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth. Right? Once again, see if you're adding value. Did slapping the taste out of his mouth in public? Once again, if you felt you had to see him, bro, I get it. Like, see him. Because here's the deal: if you do that on national television, the police were there. Chris Rock said he didn't want to press charges. You don't think that the police? You think the police showed up because somebody called them? No, the police showed up because they were watching TV. Somebody was like, "Did Will Smith just slap Chris Rock?" And they showed up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't sit up. Don't go to a comedy show, and definitely don't sit up front because you will be made fun of. If it's not by the person who's the main person, it might be by the opening act, the second act, the person who's the host, whatever. You will be made fun of. Don't go. Like, they have these people there for a reason. They're supposed to make fun of you, right? So look, the value did what he and once again is Will Smith is what he's doing, is what how he's living, is what he's showing, is it adding value to people. Oh, I didn't even know Samuel L. Jackson won an award. I didn't watch. The stuff I learned about was after the fact, so I don't know. But all these things that we're talking about, even people who want to go into the stuff, it's not my thing, but hey, this is the first openly gay person to get this, or this is the first woman, a woman won best director or something like that 2 years in a row, or the first openly trans or whatever person won this and that. Like, nobody cares about that stuff anymore. You know why? Because all anybody cares about is that Will Smith slapped the taste out of somebody's mouth. You know what I'm saying? And that's not, for the rest of his life, whenever anybody says Will Smith is an Oscar winner, they're going to say, yeah, that's when he slapped the taste out of somebody's mouth. For the rest of his life, when Will Smith gets out there talking about how great a person he is and how motivational things are and how he's supposed to be this great husband and great father and all this, somebody say, yeah, and you slap the taste out of his mouth. Right? Yeah, I guess it's for the rest of his life. Like, if you had to do that, slap the taste out of his mouth in a room. Like, they're supposed to be friends, even though they had the issue with him making Jada before. Like, you could have brought him over your crib and beat the brakes off of him on your property, and then lied about why you brought. Like, there's so many different ways you could have invited him to your property, beat the brakes off him, lied about it, said that he tried to attack you on your property or something, done whatever. Yeah, Chris Rock will be on the Breakfast Club. Right. And Will is gonna have to do some kind of speaking on this. I don't know if he's already done so or whatever. Chris Rock already put out a whole thing because Chris Rock looks bad or whatever, and he said as a comedian, I don't know what lines to cross. I'm just telling you, don't expect the comedian to be around. Right. If you are friends with a comedian, if you're ever friends with a comedian, they cross lines with you personally all the time. Like, don't be friends with a comedian. I'm telling you. Will made a statement. Okay, I didn't even know he made a statement, right? But and then he tried to come out in the speech. Well, make sure that you comprehend that. Denzel just told me that. When you're at your highest times, that's when the devil comes for you, whatever. It's like the devil didn't tell you to slap that boy. You know what I'm saying? Like people are gonna but they want Will Smith to still be the hero. It's like his life doesn't tell you anything about him being heroic. What are we doing out here? If you feel like he defended his wife, I told Maya, I was like, look, if somebody says something about you, you know how I am about you. Like, if somebody did something like that in public, I don't know what I would have done, but I probably would have just seen him because he wouldn't have just got slapped. Like, if I felt like if you've done something to a point to where I need to slap you, like, slapping is the most disrespectful. I feel like beating the brakes off of you almost to the point of death is better than slapping you. Like, that's a man thing, straight up. Like, any man on here, if we got to see each other, I promise you, I will never slap you. Like, if I have to, right, I will never slap you because that's the slapping a man is akin to death. Like, if you where I'm from, the places I'm from, if you slap, I'm just being honest. Like, where I'm from, if you slap a man, I'm just keeping 100. If there's somebody on here that gonna tell me different, bro, you tell me different, right? But where I'm from. If you slap a man, it's akin to killing him. Like, if you slap somebody, right? Matter of fact, funny story. I can't remember the comedian's name right now. He was just talking to another comedian, God, Godfrey, something Godfrey, the comedian that's from Chicago, but he's like West African, and he was talking to, I forget the cat's name. He's Muslim, Like he's bald headed. He got a beard. He's he did a lot of time in prison or whatever, and he's a very famous comedian now. Can't remember his name. He's on Comedy Central a lot, whatever, right? Um, here's a story. Here's a story for you. Talk about the same thing. Like this, how disrespectful it. Like for me, I would have rather him just beat the brakes off of him. I think that's what it is for me personally as a man. The fact you slapped him is the most disrespectful thing you could do. Like that, when I put myself there, if you slap me, bro, like even if I let it go, like I might have to take your life later. You're not just gonna slap me. Like that's, I'm sorry if y'all pray for me. I'm just telling you my flesh. Like you would see a different side. Somebody could shoot me, and I would treat them different than somebody who slapped me. Like I'm just telling you what it is. But anyway, I can't remember the guy's name, the comedian's name. But matter of fact, let me see if I can look it up real quick. I know we said we're gonna leave, but we sitting there talking about this. So let me. What is his name? Comedian. Jail. Um, Jail. Ali Sadiq. Ali Sadiq is his name. Ali, like Muhammad Ali, last name Sadiq, Saddiq. Ali Sadiq. I think that's how you pronounce his last name, Sadiq or Sadiq. Um, and he was on Godfrey's podcast, and he was telling a story about how Ali was on Godfrey's podcast, and he was talking about how he what is it? He was talking about how he was in jail, and he was talking about how he's never really lost a fight in his life, and he technically didn't lose, but he did something that allowed him to get beat up, right? Um, you said he was boxing because closed fists might have been a weapon or whatever. Well, I don't know. Well, watch this. So he said, so check this out. He said, and really, if you're gonna hit me on national television in front of everybody, you might as well have slapped me. So I just say it like that. But nevertheless, nevertheless, it was Ali Sadiq, and Ali Sadiq was talking about how he was in prison, never lost a fight in his life, besides to women, but he didn't fight women. So like his older sister and stuff, since his mom had to work all these jobs, his older sister would take care of him and this and that. So she might have to give him whoopings or something like that. But he said that he got to prison and he was beating everybody. He had fought this and things like that. You said you consider me a great man. I'm bigger than that. Hey, I hear you on that. I'm telling you, if somebody slapped me outright, especially you're gonna slap me in front of my people, my wife, my family, my children. First of all, like I said, I wouldn't have been in a position where somebody's gonna just walk up on me. I don't believe in just allowing somebody to slap the taste out your mouth. You defend yourself. I'm just telling you, I would need to be in serious prayer at that moment if I don't react. Um, there's a lot of stuff going on in my mind. I'm just telling you where I come from. I'm talking about where I come from, the streets I come from, things like that. You don't just slap somebody. But nevertheless, Ali Sadiq is in there, and he's in prison. And so there's this guy challenged him, whatever, called him a B word. You don't call another man the B word, this and that, or whatever. So they go to fighting, right? Yeah, he said his mom taught him how to fight for real, right? So he goes to fighting. He beat this dude up, like he getting great shots on him. He doing whatever, hit him with a jab, hit him with a hook, hit him with another hook, had him on his knees. And he said he made the mistake that you don't do, which is he said his dad taught him that you don't listen to the crowd. You do what you need to do, you finish fighting, and you go about your business, right? And he said one thing that you do is he said one thing that you do is you what is it? He said three things that you never do to another man. His daddy taught him. He said three things you don't do. He said you don't spit in the wind because you might get hit with the same spit you put out. He said never. I can't remember what the second one is, but he said the third thing you do is no, never never do something else. Oh yeah, never listen to other people outside the fight. And then he said never slap a man on top of that. So he said he beat him up. The dude was there on the ground. Dude was sitting there out of it on his knees. And that should have been the end of it. And somebody he said from outside said, slap his ass, you know what? He said, slap his. And so he said he went back and he said he slapped the guy. And he said as soon as he did, he doesn't remember how, but he remembers the guy basically got him in a bear hug where his hands were like this. And he said there were 6 round tables, huge round tables. He said he knows because he got familiar with all 6 because the guy picked him up and wouldn't let him go and just slammed him on each table. And he said he was just like this. And he knew as soon as like his body stopped, so the guy would be shaking. He was carrying him to the next table. He said as soon as he felt his body stop, he was like up and about to get slammed again. And he slammed him on all 6 tables. Right. And then he said, "Don't you ever in your life slap me." And he said, as he was sliding down, he said, "Yes, sir." Like, that was like, "Yes, sir." And he just slid on down, right? But like, that's because like that guy found strength. You know why that guy found strength? Because you never slap a man. So Chris Rock is a great man, is a big man. And I would pray, like I said, that I would not do that or whatever. Right. But I'm just telling you, if Will Smith felt like he was going to defend his wife against me that day, he wasn't gonna get to the point where he was gonna slap me like that. I'm not saying if we box, maybe he win, maybe you don't, but you ain't just slapping me like that. Number one, right? But if you do somehow some way surprise me with a slap, like just be ready to keep on going because you might, especially on national television. I'm just telling you where I'm from. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying it's righteous. I'm not saying y'all shouldn't pray for me. I'm not saying that I shouldn't pray about it. I'm just being honest with you. I'm putting it out there. If somebody come across me and they slap me, we gonna have a problem. Not just me. Let somebody slap my child. Let somebody slap. Don't mess around and even rub against or touch my wife. Right? But I'm just saying, like, let somebody do that. Where I'm from, you don't do that. I'm just saying, I don't know about that life where somebody just gets to slap you and there's no repercussions. you know. And yeah, and every comedian is going to be open season because they're going to be trying to protect Chris Rock. But it's a thing where I can see both of them, right? But long story short, and all that being said, that's why even what I'm saying about myself, real talk, like don't let me be the end all be all of anything because you can see I'm not perfect. So, you know what I'm saying? You see, I'm not perfect. So hey, there's things about me that hey, glean from those things, certain things. Hey, we pray for him because he's not perfect. I'm not perfect at all, but I'm just telling you, you want to see a bad side out of me, touch my wife, see what's gonna happen to you. I won't slap you, but you might get the brakes beat off you. You know, yeah. I've had people stomp my face, right? Stomp my face, and I'm. Hey, you just gotta take it. You stomp my face, you beat this and that. Yeah, we had somebody else on here stage ritual. That's fine, even if it's a stage ritual. You ain't gonna have me in a stage ritual where I'm gonna get slapped in the face. But then again, I'm not trying to be part of that community, so I get what you're saying, right? But long story short, just be careful where you're getting it from, right? Just be careful where you're getting this from, right? Be careful who you're putting up as your heroes. Be careful that you're not making heroes out of men or gods out of men, and that's really what happens at the Oscars, anyways. Even the Oscar is a Babylonian god, a deity. That's even what Oscar is. That's where that comes from. Used to be spelled different, but same thing, right? It was a golden, it was a person that the golden statue was a person of gold. It was a deity of gold. So that's what you're dealing with. So all of it at the end of the day is ritualistic. So it wouldn't be a surprise to me. All I'm saying is if you're in a situation, if we want to talk about it as far as it being a realistic situation, please, please don't slap. That's why ladies, like because ladies be abusive too, and we don't be talking about it. Ladies, if you feel for some reason that you so mad that you gotta hit your man, I would hope that you wouldn't, but please don't slap him. I'm not saying that he should have enough decorum in him, and as long as his life is not on the line or he's being attacked or whatever, that he doesn't have in a situation where he needs to defend himself. Prayerfully, he would not put hands back on you. But I promise you, ladies, if you slap your man, it is one of the most disrespectful things you can ever do. Right? My mama is the only one that's ever slapped me, and it was because I did something so disrespectful. Well, first of all, I would never hit my mama, but she did something, I did something so disrespectful. And my wife has never and never will put hands on me, right? But maybe my wife, if I did something disrespectful, I just got to take that on the chin. But I'm just telling you, if you don't want Not every man. I don't speak for every single man to ever be in existence, but just please, ladies, don't ever. Yeah, definitely don't spit. I don't know which one, brothers. Y'all tell me which one y'all think is worse, getting spit on or being slapped. Like ladies, I'm telling, like they about the same. I mean, I guess spitting is more disrespectful. I guess, but I don't know. I'm just saying, ladies, though, right? Out of love for you, out of concern for you, please, if you are in a relationship where y'all putting hands on each other, please, please don't slap. I know both are disrespectful. Both is extremely disrespectful. I'm just telling you, if I had to look at it and say which one's worse, I don't know. Like spitting is bad, especially depending on how many people are there. You said that's their system to keep you looking in the other direction. Yeah, and it could be. But once again, we're not trying to get you to celebrate those things. Long story short, you know. So, but we are definitely thankful and grateful for having you guys on. As you can see, we kind of stopped talking about the theme a while ago. We started getting the cards and everything. Well, actually, even with that, we were talking about. We kind of did talk about the main thing, which once again is that meeting those 6 human needs are going to help you to be able to get to another level. So, thank you all so much. I'm sorry, Deleve said, "Can you pray for my cousin? She's fighting a battle with cancer, and her name is that." Wow. Well, prayerfully, your cousin wasn't taking too many of those that were too enormous, and that hopefully that wasn't what broke down her cells. Pretty good try though. That being said, we appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Um, we're thankful and grateful. So we appreciate you. We honor you. Um, and we want you guys to have a great day. Those of you who are on Patreon today, remember that we have our live session that starts at 7. I'm gonna try and get a little bit of rest before dealing with a little bit of headache and stuff, as we had a little backtrack on some things physically. But prayerfully, you guys will be doing all right, and have a great day. We'll try to have some Patreon videos posted for you guys. The same way we did before, trying to have a bunch of them kind of pop up, hopefully sometime today. Um, thank you all for being on. We appreciate you on all the different platforms that we're reaching. We are thankful and we're grateful for you all. And we're excited to continue to move together and flow with the Most High has for each and every one of you. And if you want more information on us, if you're on YouTube right now, even if you're on the podcast at a certain time, you can just always look in the description box with the video to find out how to reach out to us. If you would like to reach out to us on TikTok, you can do so through DMs. You can also do so through simply the easiest way to do it, though, is to look at our bio and see a couple places and ways you can help us, or just join up and be part of the community, or get in touch with us for whatever reason it is: life coaching, marital coaching, things on Hebrew holy days, questions, classes, etc. Also, though, you can go to where it says website on TikTok and just simply look on the link tree. Other than that, though, those who are on Patreon and patron members, we look forward to talking to you guys tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern New York time, and everybody else, you'll be able to join in on the conversation at 8 p.m. Eastern New York time. Those of you who have basic Hebrew class, we'll see you at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern New York time. And everybody else, we're on every rising at 8 a.m. Eastern New York time. We're on every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern New York time. Thank you also for being on once again. We appreciate you. Don't forget about Thursday Rising Prayer coming up in a couple days. That's on our free conference call line. I believe that's also available through the link tree as well. So thank you. We appreciate you. We honor you. We look forward to talking to you again. Once again, we give all praise to the Most High, Yahweh Elohim. We give all praise to Him for my wife, the Honorable Maya. And as always, we want you to remember that you are loved, you're necessary, you're majestic, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and you, which is all of us working together, will be the reason why people who are in the system no longer have to be of it. Shalom, fam. We'll talk to you soon.